are live. Welcome to Anonymous Bites Back, episode 69. Well, Lori was supposed to be here, but I'm not sure what's going on.
We are still waiting.
We're still waiting. Um, so we might have to reschedule this show for another day. But we'll still broadcast for a little while. We might have to end the show short. We do have some pretty good a pretty good show lined up in the next couple of days as well. So off topic about that. Ed, you want to fill us in on what you were talking about?
You mean the super hackser? The
the Humanity Party is showing up again.
Oh my god, yeah.
super hackser. This guy is my favorite superhero. This guy.
So I got word of this shit from the Humanity Party. Okay, all right. Anon News Co., which is also on Facebook and has their own webpage and Facebook page. If you type in Anonymous on Facebook, they'll show up. And they reposted an article that's like dead news on the back end. You know, most Anons know that the Humanity Party was utter fucking bullshit, but apparently it's going around that Anonymous has its own political party and this whole fucking shit again.
Yeah, it's just starting all over again, like nothing happened. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of feedback. I think Calamity. That's much better. But yeah, so whoa. In the back end there was we had an operation called Op Thump, and this guy had ties to the Mormon Church. And he wasn't part of like the normal Mormon Church. I believe if I was correct, what was his name again?
Christopher Nemelka.
Yeah,
but he left. He left the Mormon Church, I think, and he started his own cult.
Yeah. He started his own cult, and then during the primary elections, I mean, they were some fucking like studio quality. Calamity, I'm getting some feedback. There you go. And then like they were like uber great quality, and a lot of people were like, oh, well, you know, maybe Anonymous has its own political party, blah 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 blah, which is all fucking bullshit. There was a guy dressed in white hair, you know, saying that he wanted. I don't really remember some of the claims, but he wanted to.
It was basically a political party that their men aren't men and women aren't women. It's like all over the place. I don't even. It's just strange.
Well, yeah, and we had an Op Thump, and you know, to expose this guy. I hope he's not back. I really don't.
No, I don't think he's back. I haven't really seen anything about it on their own page. They're avoiding any posts about Anonymous. They are still using the hashtags. Vote Anonymous 2016. They're still using. I haven't seen anything about it on their own page. It's just Anon News that's really restarting it.
You know the question is, why is Anon News reposting articles from 2 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it either. It's like, yeah. Well, it did get a lot of views back then. I mean, you know, this video of them got like millions of views. I mean, it was promoted by all these big, strange YouTube channels. Not really the grassroots channels, but just these big YouTube channels making money. Well, they were big during the elections. I don't really know what they're doing right now because it's like 3 years to go till the next elections, I guess. So.
Oh God, maybe this time he'll be Guy Fawkes instead of that creepy human. So that creepy whatever the fuck he was.
They're like Masonic symbols and stuff.
Yeah, they were Masonic symbols. Apparently, it was like an anarchy sign with like, with the Freemason sign going around it.
Yeah.
It's
but I've heard the explanation of it. It actually said "Voice of Anonymous." That symbol. It is a V, an O, and an A. So yeah.
You know what? Maybe they are back. Hold on a second. Oh, shit.
And the article that came up today was from disclosed.tv. Talking about how the group that goes by the name Anonymous became a phenomenon around the world due to the lack of anonymity. But basically, this group has hijacked Anonymous. So now they're the Anonymous. Right. It's so laughable. But I was like, what the fuck is this?
Guys, I think they're back. I'm seeing something on their fucking webpage saying Humanity Party is doing the pedo hunts.
Seriously.
Yeah, and they were linked to some petitiontocongress.com on the code on their website somewhere. I was doing a little research, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. They researched somehow today.
Yeah, it's they're trying to. What is it? HR. Hold on a second. HR something. I don't know. And they also have a periodic blog talk radio on Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. Mountain MST with Christopher. Oh, they got a phone number too. You can call 319-527-6231.
Oh, if I had another device right now, I'd call them.
Oh my God.
I'm looking at their page right now.
They're still around, man.
They are still around, but they're not doing these regular updates anymore. It's like once every few days. Yeah, I don't really see the anonymous stuff anymore. But
I think it'll be something that pops up in 2018 as far as political party.
The humanity party got thump.
Well, it's kind of similar to the transhumanist party, that Istvan. Remember, they were kind of weird too.
Istvan? I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, this is the guy that was running for a candidate. He had a candidacy he was running for under the transhumanist party. But yeah, they're actually put a party pushing the transhumanist agenda. So I mean, there's some extremes out there.
What do you transhumanist agenda? I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, that's where humans merge with machines and move ahead in the future as cyborgs, bionic. Essentially the man becomes a machine.
Wi-Fi shoots out of your ass.
Oh man, it sounds even worse.
Well, you know what I was seeing is that when I was in you're not even gonna believe this. So apparently the Communist Party really has a grip on some parts of Chicago when I was living out there. So I was taking the train, and they were putting around, somebody from the Communist Party was putting around fucking that they were gonna rebel violently and take over the U.S. And this was like all over the subway system. Like I forget what day it was. It had to been like on a Thursday. Yeah. Uh-oh. Did my internet go out?
No, you're still on. No, I'm reading into this real quick because it's amazing they're doing this again with the Humanity Party. I mean, we were very clear back then, and they also realized it eventually that Anonymous was not going to accept any form of leadership or political party representing everyone. So I don't really get why Anon News would do this right now. It's disturbing.
I don't know. I would. Sometimes, I often question. Well, as I do. Is that how involved Anon News Co is to Anonymous, and I think one of our guys, one of our old streamers told me a little bit about them. Oh, Calamity! I'm getting some really bad feedback. There we go. And apparently they started off as a news website, and then sometime along the way they converted to Anonymous, and then now they have 7.5 million likes.
Yeah, I think it's even more right now. But yeah, they are the largest page on Facebook, I guess.
Well, they post some really weird shit, and when I didn't know anything about Anonymous, because I've only been around for like 2 years. So when I didn't know anything about Anonymous,
you new fag.
Shut up. Remember I told you how I got involved in
new fag. New fag. New fag.
Hey, I thought the mask was cool at one point.
Kill the new fag. I am
We've all been there.
We've
all been there with the mask stuff. So.
No, so they would post these pictures every once in a while that would say when hackers wipe your debt, and people were buying the shit out of it. They were getting like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 likes. That Anonymous would wipe their debt, and and I'm just thinking, I'm like, well, I mean, that's not completely unheard of, but. I mean, you got to get some real fucking skills. Some real fucking skills to do shit like that on a big server.
Yeah, of course.
And I was gonna say, speaking of hackers, I think Jeremy Hammond, he's gonna be out. I think is it 2 years? 2 years? Jeremy.
Guys, are we live now?
Yes, we're live. Yes, we are live.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, no, but he was sentenced in 2013, 10 years. So.
So he's got a lot more long. He's got a little bit more ways. I thought he was going to get out early for time served. Speaking of hackers. On another subject, we also have malware tech. We were talking about that in an earlier on the previous show, and malware tech was granted bail. He was accused. Malware tech managed to stop a portion of the WannaCry virus by setting up a server. I'm not sure on the back end exactly what he was doing.
No, there was a stop programmed into the virus. If a certain domain was registered, the virus would stop. So he simply registered this domain name, and then the worm kind of stopped.
Yeah, and now they're accusing him of while he was at DEF CON, which is in Las Vegas, and it was not even that long ago. It was last week. I think it's still going. I'm not sure. But anyway, so they granted he granted bail. He's out, but now they're accusing him of being involved with the Kronos virus, and I think I'm not sure what evidence they have, but what people were saying is that a lot of the allegations are based on some of the stuff he posted on his Twitter.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he made a Twitter post in the past saying he made some something similar to that, but it was nothing of real proof. It could have been a joke. It could have been satire, right? I mean, there is no real proof. So we'll see.
Well, the thing that sucks is that now that he's on bail, right, and he is a UK citizen, he won't be able. I don't think legally he's going to be able to go home. I think he's going to be stuck in the US until his trial.
He has to be stuck in a halfway house.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah. That was part of the terms.
So while he's there, they are monitoring all traffic in and out and recording all his phone calls. Awesome.
Like when I was involved in a similar case. Like I really when I was interrogated by the detectives, wasn't even everything happened so quick. When they were going through all my shit, they said they had a warrant. I found out later they didn't have a fucking warrant, right? And one of the detectives, was asking me for my MEID number, and I later had another arrest, which I think was related to me giving them the number because they found out where the fuck I was. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they, right now spying on everything he's got, unless he's got some burner phones,
And that is OG Trump.
He's doing a little housekeeping.
Are you in a car, Trump?
Huh?
He's practicing his mic work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the car, man. In the car.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully, Lori will, show up. If not, we'll have to just reschedule everything. We do have some updates about Ed. Ed, you wanna post some updates?
Ed Higgins here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting enough. Are we talking about BT? Are we talking about?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you wanna go down that road, yeah. We can.
The Bluetooth is ready to pair.
Bluetooth ready to pair. I mean, so for those of you who don't know, I was attacked and smeared online recently, and there were people that outed themselves, and then what I found out is that somebody was releasing text messages of mine. Yeah, I'm all right. Okay. And they were releasing text messages of mine. I thought they had my phone with stolen equipment because my stuff got stolen. Come to find out that they were in my Google Drive, Google Photos, and that's where they got the photos. I went in there, I found the photos. So then I went to my Google account and found the devices that still had my email account on them, and one of them was a Samsung S7. So I proceeded to remotely wipe that device because I knew it wasn't mine, and then change the password. So that's what happened recently, and we have the mask. That's awesome. But also there was text messages that were given because of a certain allegation. I basically proved that I was not guilty of what they were trying to accuse me of.
Well, I mean, I mean, those are some serious um, um, allegation. I think your friend is coming in.
There he
uh,
is. Hey, Terrence. Oh, God.
but those are some.
Kyle, put my picture up. Kyle, put me up on screen so people can see the green man.
You can see a green man. So anyway, so yeah, those are some serious allegations, and I mean, we had correspondence, mediating, in between with the evidence provided, and I think KPPF or whatever it was saying was holding some a Google proof that you were where you said you were was was done through an app, Google Maps, okay, which if you leave it on, you leave on certain settings, it can record where you are, or it can also record plotting points of your destination or whatever. But that only proves that one person was in one location with one device, not where you were. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my story didn't change the whole time. I had said that she dropped me off and she went home. And then the text messages show she dropped me off. And I actually got stuck outside the house because I was staying at a friend's house and they weren't awake. So I was sitting out there for like an hour and a half, just waiting, chilling. And she says in the text messages, "Oh, I would have came back and got you." That's not exactly the mindset of a victim.
No.
And so it just showed that basically anybody can go out there and bully someone. But funny enough, the guy who was trying to spread this found out that he was spreading wrong information. So he actually backed me up.
Yeah.
So I give him respect for that. Nothing else. He's batshit crazy. But he at least did the right thing in that instance. And that was,
Oh, and
Who's that? Is that the guy? Is that the guy that was on the other day that I made fucking? I trolled.
Yeah. Billy
Really?
Taylor. Yeah.
He's the one that's always on about fucking Illuminati and the something Branghini family or something, is it?
Yeah.
No. No, that's that other guy. That is. No.
All right, that's another letter.
And to clear, we have a lot of haters because of the incident on that other show. I'm planning on having some of the guests that want to come on, and I'm not sure what they really want to say, but that's okay. I'll let them on in an upcoming show. I'm really kind of unsure about the time because we do have some stuff planned. But for
fuck, the police just drove past. I'm sitting in my car in a green mask and the fucking police just drive past.
So there are people talking and saying that we pay people and we have a staff and that this is that we pay people at Anonymous Bites Back. In fact, this is all volunteers. Nobody's getting paid. Me personally, I'm dropping money into the back end of trying to get the streaming services up. People are also saying that Billy is on our payroll, which is not true. Billy isn't affiliated with the page at all. So, just to clear that up for our listeners.
You mean Billy?
We haven't got a payroll.
I know.
We do. I'm not getting.
I was going to say because I kind of like part owner, so I'm not getting paid. I hope there's no payroll.
Or is there? Dun, dun, dun.
There better not be a payroll without me getting something.
No. We don't have there's no payroll. Nobody's getting paid anything. I'm sorry. This is free.
Well, and that's a silly thing. So, like, I was just invited to the show, I don't know, like 2 months ago. And I've been humbled and honored to be here ever since. But, like, that's what they do with the activists. They'll go out there and they'll say they're paid by Soros. They'll say that they are either pedophiles or sexual abusers. They'll say they're double agents, like whatever they can come up with. I never thought it was so crazy to just do such good work and be humbled about it.
Yeah, guys, man, fucking trolls recently are making people into pedos all the fucking time. That's all they're doing. All they're doing is taking screen caps, HTML source edit, taking the conversations and completely changing them. It's really, really fucked up. But it is happening. They're making people into pedophiles.
Yeah,
So,
we had evidence.
they're innocent.
We had evidence of that with those Wolfsec photoshopped images that were going around that were like 100% fake, but they looked real. They looked damn real, but they weren't real.
Yeah, they were using Photoshop and source code edit. You know, with the HTML, where you could go into the console, and you know what I mean, don't you, Tal? Because we don't want to say what we do, but yeah.
Yeah.
You basically inspect element, and you can change whatever you want.
Yeah, but it's only
if you know what you're doing.
It's only going to change. It's only going to change on your screen. Nowhere else.
Yeah. That's what they do. Then they screen cap what they've changed, and then they spread it out. Then they send it around. Then.
Yeah, but can you really blame them for this? I mean, you can Photoshop these things too, but aren't the real people to blame the people who believe this shit? I mean, screenshots are not evidence since the invention of Photoshop. I mean, why would you believe this shit?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I've run into a lot of people in the last 2 years who actually would believe this stuff. So that's a scary part. And I just critical thinking has really gone out the window. I don't know if it's ever been there. But.
We've talked about this on the show about the dumbing down of America and society in general. The average person. No offense, I am one of them. I have ADD. I do have a severe. It comes up in my speech pattern. It's pretty obvious to me, but the average person doesn't have the attention span of more than 2 to 3 minutes, so they'll skim something and not do much investigation on it, and then so and behold, if it says it looks legit, fine, it's fucking real. No real investigation into it.
Yeah, so that's the real issue. I mean, anyone can make anyone say anything these days. I mean, it's so easy to do this. So, yeah, the real issue is the people believe everything without doing any research themselves or even talking to the people who are the subject of this misinformation campaign. So, yeah, I don't get it. It's really all these followers who are to blame who don't do their own research. So, yeah. I wouldn't be bothered too much with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see your life plastered all over like social media and not have any real facts to back up anything associated with it. And you'll have people come to you and say, "Hey, is this true?" And then your neck does like this violent twist, like you just saw like a unicorn. And you're like, really? Like, this is like you really are bringing this to me. You really wasted energy on those words that just came out of your mouth and questioned me on this.
Okay, but at least they're still asking you if it's true, right?
Yeah. I've had people
that's
that
something.
I respect come to me and say, "Hey, you know what? I just heard this, and I just wanted to hear it from you if it was true or not." And some people will think I'm rude because I'll say, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah.
And then they'll block me because I said that. I'm like, really? Like,
well, I don't blame you for blocking them. When I had my popular account still out there and then lost it, I don't necessarily block people until it's like absurdly annoying. You tell them, no, I don't. No, I don't feel like talking to you right now, and no, I'm not going to answer these questions. No, I'm not going to help you out, and You know, I mean, that's what the block button's there for. You know, if you don't want to, if you don't want to talk to this person, then you don't have. I mean, that's not necessarily like how the case is going to be. You know, you have a friend. You know, they get a sock and then they start talking to you on another account. But sometimes blocking people is the only way to stop the harassment.
Well, yeah, that's what I had to do. I had to block somebody because I saw because first of all, they're full of themselves. They like to talk a lot about themselves, and they don't really help anybody, and they're always criticizing somebody. So I blocked them. They went out of their way to find a message that wasn't even mine. I made a comment on it, and I made the mistake of including their name by accident. And this was like a week ago, and then they made a whole huge post about it. Like this was going to be their life. Like the next 24 hours is commenting on this 2-sentence or 1-sentence comment that I made, so that I don't know, maybe it fulfilled their life, maybe that's what they wanted to focus on, maybe because I gave them attention a week ago, they were okay with that. But that's the reason why I blocked the person in the first place, because like, what good energy does that put out to the world to especially if you have kids? Like this person has kids, and I'm really like I can't have kids, so for me, it's really important for parents who have kids, to pay attention to them, because I wasn't paid attention to when I was a kid. And so I see these parents that are on social media spending half their day talking shit about other people, and I'm thinking to myself, what kind of attention are your kids getting right now?
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. A lot of Charles these days are just single mums with kids, like, and they're online just hiding, getting rid of time. Really, they're bored.
Well, what would really amaze me wasn't that they only came after you. They're going, the activist trolls are going after a lot of people, that were involved with DAPL, and you're not the only one. You're not the only one that they're going after,
Right. And I tried to educate people on that, but there's so much paranoia because of the Tiger Swan docs coming out, and people are they really didn't know each other in the first place. They just came together for that moment.
Yeah.
They worked together, and now they're finding out about each other, and they're like, oh my God, well, this person has a past. Yeah, everybody has a fucking past.
Well, a lot of people in activism, I hate, a lot of people in general, all right, are not perfect. I was even talking to one of my cousins about this,
Guys, what is going on with Facebook though? Because seriously, like, I can't get back on. Every time I make an account, they just completely wipe it out. Every time. There's no chance of me getting back on. It's got to be like the what they call it?
UMI.
Unique identifier, isn't it? UMI, yeah. It's got to be. It's got to be something to do with that.
Yeah, your IP has been blacklisted.
Yeah. Probably.
I had to change my IP and my MAC address, and also use a fake
That's
ID.
Not very nice. I'm not a nasty person. Why they blacklisted me? I'm a nice person. Well, I just got a swastika on my eye.
You look real nice, OG Trump.
But a lot of people will not have perfect records, and then when you dig into a person's past, especially when you're dealing with court records, you're not generally getting a good picture of somebody that's at a good part of life. And here's the thing: is that even though you have a guilty verdict, and I know this from being, being involved with the court systems and getting in trouble because of my problem with drugs, is that sometimes you will admit guilt to a crime that you're not that aren't really telling the truth, because you don't want to spend another year in court. You're stuck behind bars, and you really just want to get the fuck out, get your life on again, whatever, and not everybody has the money to get the CR 180 form or whatever form it is in your state to get this expunged. Or if you need a lawyer, a lot of lawyers will cost you about $750 to $1,000 plus just to get this shit off your fucking record. So when you're digging into a person's past in their legal problems, I mean, you'd be, even your coworkers, you'd be like, well, I didn't know you fucking you fucking had a drug problem in the 80s. Well, you know, it happens, you know?
Absolutely. Everybody has a
Yeah,
past, and the people that involve themselves in activism and in general, I mean, and just saving, you know, and trying to save a life or trying to save, you know, Mother Earth, they're going to have to be the ones that went through some rough times, because really that's the only way you can go and do this work without going friggin' insane.
Yeah.
Everybody here and everybody that I've talked to in the last year or two has had some kind of trauma. You're going to have trauma. The important way is to use that trauma as your agenda in a good way. And you're going to have you're going to have hiccups. You're going to have parts where, you know, maybe you don't always follow the path. Maybe you memory. But it's all part of the journey.
Alcohol's good. Alcohol's good. I'm a fucking alcoholic.
Well, I
drink all
disagree
day.
with that, but yeah, I mean, there are alcoholics that work really hard. My father he worked his ass off and drank his ass off. So like, there are people that take their trauma and I'm getting
better. I was really bad, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better now. I was drinking a lot at one point, but I think I just drink when I get depressed. Does that make sense? It's just like I get like my bipolar kicks in, and then I'm like down in vodka until I pass out.
Yeah,
so.
I get that. I actually went through the same experience, and
yeah,
when you're depressed, you're devoid of all emotion. So whatever you can do to get back into that, or if like with me, I have anxiety. So if I am anxious, what I'll do is I'll use alcohol to lessen the effects of the anxiety, to slow it down instead of just talking myself through it. There are some times where, you know, people do these things, they don't realize why, because they've never researched it. They don't have the technical or medical know-how to understand why, and they involve themselves in these behaviors that are not necessarily good for them.
Yeah, well, depression is a mind-boggling thing. My depression is, I don't know, it's like I feel great, I feel brilliant, and then all of a sudden, bang, just completely knocks me down.
Lows. Yeah.
Like a seesaw. Like a seesaw effect. Yeah, like a chemical imbalance or something.
Right. And I had a chemical imbalance of sorts until vegan, where I would have like a really short temper, or I would be angry a lot until I went vegan, and then I guess I stopped filling myself with so many chemicals that my brain leveled out a lot. And I wouldn't go rage or anything. I wouldn't hit anybody. I couldn't kill a fly, but I would just get like illogically upset at certain things at certain times, if that makes sense.
Yeah, with me, I'm on the spectrum, so I get depression because I've got Asperger's mainly, so that's mainly why I get I'm like double whammied with Asperger's and bipolar, so
yeah, and that
blessed.
can be.
I'm pretty blessed.
Well,
I'm pretty blessed, but I'm really good with like creative stuff. I'm really good with when I want to apply myself to something, you know.
Well, and that's where the spectrum comes from. A lot of people that are really intelligent or really passionate also have that other side of them that comes in waves. I've seen that a lot, especially in my own parents.
Well, over the years, I've learned to get like stronger, but when you are on the spectrum, you're very susceptible to people calling you a retard and you autistic dickhead, and there's lots of stuff that people on the spectrum get abused a lot online. I've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
But now I just take it with a pinch of salt myself. Like I've learned to just realize that even though I find it hard sometimes to realize these people are just having a joke, now seeing it happen so much, I just think, oh fuck it. Well, if they think I'm a retard, they think I'm a retard. And then I don't really give a fuck.
Well, I used to deal with a lot of cases with people with mental disorders, like real heavy issues. Not on your spectrum, but I would deal with the bipolars, the borderline personality disorders, schizophrenia. It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon for people with severe issues to medicate themselves with drugs and alcohol. And I hate to say this. To say this being in the field. Sometimes when we're dealing with the more extreme versions of mental disorders, such as schizophrenia, but not necessarily audio, but when you're dealing with the visual and audio hallucinations, sometimes they're better on the drugs than they are off of them. Sometimes, not always.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know, like, I've always had ADHD, OCD, and anxiety. So, yeah.
So,
anyone else? Can anyone else relate to that?
Yeah. Severe ADHD, but I don't take any medications, so I don't balance it out. So we do have a viewer saying, so what is the topic? We did have Lori Love planned for today. Right now, Lori isn't here.
Is asleep.
Possibly. So we might have to just reschedule him. He might pop in. I don't know. I know Lori had some stuff to do, which would be
early in the morning tomorrow is something important.
Hey,
John, you still there?
And back on to Terrence. Are you there?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Terrence.
Hey, Terrence. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Sorry, it's been the struggle's a full-time job, guys.
So you're working with the BBC now, right?
No. Well, one of you remember the lady that came in, the woman that came in and talked about the documentary To the Last Drop, the Water Protectors documentary?
Yeah.
He works for the BBC, so I figured it was way easier to get a lot closer to people using BBC credentials than just some geek off the street. So
I was wondering that yesterday. I was thinking that in my head. Wait, I remember seeing him with BBC credentials at the People Summit.
I got him, man. Like, it was look. You got to take advantages of absolutely everything you possibly can. Like we had access to most of the people anyway, but like it was kind of fun to flash your press pass and sneak by everybody.
What's the name of the company again, Terrence? What's the name?
Well, there's Leanna Jose is making a documentary. She was actually on here. To the Last Drop. And she's on sabbatical, but she works for the BBC. So.
Oh yeah, I was on for that show. Yeah, I remember her. I was on, wasn't I, Tyler? What? I can't remember her name.
Liana.
Jose.
That's it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, so that gave us
pretty brilliant.
A lot of the people that we were meeting all there, because I was actually there with African Americans for Bernie Sanders was where my invite came from, because that was kind of bullshit. They made it like you had to apply for it, and then you had to either know somebody that was going there or get invited. It was kind of bogus. For being the People Summit, you would think it would be open to the people, right? That kind of.
That was my biggest problem. Yeah.
Right, but it wasn't. It was like, look, my goal is revolution, right? And we have to be just as well connected as our opponents are, right? And they go and shake hands and go and hang out and drink with it. We have to do the exact same fucking things, right? They've shown us exactly how you get to change the corrupt system that's there, and that has a lot to do with, well, they want to be seen taking a picture next to a black guy. That's fine, whatever, right? But the point is, if I can use that to get right next to you, then I definitely will, right? That's your fault that you're racist as fuck and don't hire black people, and you have to go out of your way. The only person that showed up happens to be an activist that can't stand you, right? Right? That was like the only person that you could find.
She like undercover, like.
Yeah, it was.
Undercover
it wasn't undercover, because I don't think, like, come on, if you haven't learned now that the Democratic Party will use your race, creed, and religion against you, any political party.
No, what I mean is you're working with them, but they don't know you're an activist. That's what I'm saying. It's like undercover.
We do social media marketing for heaps of grassroots politicians. We did it for Bernie Sanders. We did it for Jill Stein. Like, I am close to those people. That some of them I consider friends. Some of them are down for the revolution, but we have to use every opportunity to infiltrate these organizations. We have to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought it was hilarious, right? So they had like pockets of people that would scream like pro-democratic, pro-Bernie slogans, right? And they could say whatever they wanted as long as, Bernie 2020, right? We started chanting, Free Red Fawn, right? And they tried to shut us down. Like, people were screaming at us. And we picked the spots when he says, like, oh, blah, 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 black, white, Native American. So that would be the time where you would say Free Red Fawn. But you don't really give a shit about Native Americans, right? You don't give a shit about black people. You don't give a shit about white people.
Ted,
right?
Ted, have you got any updates about the pipeline? What's going on with the pipeline? I haven't spoken to you for a while, man.
It's okay. There's oil flowing there. Chances are it's already leaking. Like, that's a fact. That much pipe, statistically, it is leaking. Whether it's leaking into the water right now or whether it's leaking into the water when we find out about it in 2 years, doesn't particularly fucking matter. But we are burying them in the courts. Like,
yeah, we are.
So many things have gone our way when it comes to the courts. Like, you have trouble keeping up with posting them and all. When you think of all the friends that you had that were looking at hardcore prison time, went back, all charges dropped, all charges dropped, all charges dropped, all charges dropped, community service, all charges dropped, right? You can't post as many as they've been dropped. The lawsuits, I think we've only had one not go our way.
Well, they got my court case going July 2018.
Yeah, and I think I'll look it up. I'll look it up right now. But the recent, like yesterday, they had a large ruling against them saying that the pushing through the paperwork that they did was like illegal by the Constitution of the state.
Yeah, that's what I saw. But the major decision was, what I was waiting is that they still haven't decided whether they were going to get rid of the pipeline or not, based on that ruling.
Well, what would be great is if we would get them to, stop the production for a little bit or slow it down until they figured out, which isn't going to happen. Like, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys, that's not going to happen. What will happen is we'll end up bleeding the corporations to death in legal fees. And yeah, they are a big oil company, but oil's becoming less and less popular. You're making less and less money out of it, right? People are less and less likely to hire your pro bono lawyers. So we are slowly but surely bleeding this monster to death in legal fees, which is what was what the plan was when we left Standing Rock, if I'm not fucking mistaken. Like, this didn't surprise anybody. Our thing was, right, look, we decided we were not going to, be violent or cause others to be violent, right, to cause injuries to come to other people. So we said, look, plan B, right? We spread out. We start getting our shit together. We start organizing. We start suing the fuck out of them. This is America, right? And that's exactly
what's the truth? What's the truth on natural resources? How long have we actually got left without the lies from the government? How long is natural resources left?
Okay, look, we're not running out of oil. That's false. We've probably got, even at max production, if we were driving around in giant Lincolns, we've got a couple 100 years of oil left. That's not the point.
Cool.
Right? When it comes to whale oil, it wasn't like that we were going to eventually run out of whales. It's that we moved on to another technology. Right? And that was immediately replaced with fossil fuels. That's what's happening. There could be oceans of oil underneath the planet. We don't use oil anymore, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
Yeah, what do you think they're trying to fucking do at CERN? Do you think they're trying to open some sort of porthole, or what do you think they're doing? I heard it's about the God part. It's about the God particle or something, isn't it?
It was a poorly named particle, but look, I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? And this is probably the statement that's going to get like the CIA to kick open my door. All right. But I think that everybody was saying, look, when they turn on the CERN, when they turn on the particle accelerator, right, it's going to open up different dimensions. Black holes are going to open up. All this weird shit was going to happen, right? Interfere with timelines and all that. They turned it on. Everybody held their breath. Nothing happened. And then about 8 months later, right, Trump was elected. I reckon some scientist in CERN came running in the fucking thing and was like, oh shit, we fucked up so bad, man. Remember how there was this alternate dimension where President Trump fucking won?
Well,
oh my god.
There was
turn it off. Everybody turn it off.
there was something, and we did talk about it on a show, which was known as the Mandela effect, and not just a couple of people are experiencing this kind of stuff. Thousands.
Oh yeah, shit that people remember
isn't the way
it happened.
Yeah.
Jiffy peanut butter. There's a whole bunch of them. And we had to go and research a little bit. So the reason it's called the Mandela effect is, I guess, a lot of people in South Africa remember Mandela dying way before he actually did. Right, in our timeline. And there's a whole bunch of them. Movies that movie with come on, help me out here. It's where like Shaq or something. No, Sinbad plays.
Butterfly Effect. Butterfly Effect. Is that the film you're on about?
No. There was one called The Rum Diaries. It wasn't named The Rum Diaries. There was also with We Are the Champions by Queen. Ends differently than people they remember it. There was also
like they remember it saying "We are the champions of the world."
Yes, I remember that too. In fact, I have a very, very crisp memory because I used to be a local out in the West Coast from 105.5 KOS. 7 a.m. in the morning, they would play that before a show.
Yeah, they say champions of the world. They say champions of the world.
Hold on. Wasn't there like a Mars bar commercial where like you ate a Mars bar or something like that, and this guy like sang you a song? And at the end of the song, the guy says "of the world," and I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the Mandela effect. But right. I think that got like stuck in people's mind, and it never got. Got back.
The Queen thing is right. Yeah, it is champions of the world. I agree with that. That isn't the lyrics. So you're telling me that isn't what we hear now?
No, it's
that's not the lyrics.
Why the fuck am I saying champions of the world?
And then the Scarecrow.
We may have shifted like 0.1 over, like just enough that you noticed a little bit. Just a little bit. Look, okay, I'll put it this way. So when we really started working on nuclear weapons, a bunch of scientists that were in our nuclear weapon designing our nuclear weapons decided how much of a blast would it take to ignite our atmosphere. Okay. After they figured
our dimension has actually moved, is it, Terrence? Is that what you're saying? Our dimension has moved a little tiny bit.
No, I'm just saying these guys have the most horrible ideas of all fucking time. In that case, it didn't explode and ignite our atmosphere. But if it did, what the fuck were you gonna do? Like, that's probably the worst thing that could fucking happen. Like, you think they all stood on there with their glasses and were like, oh yeah, it lit up. Oh, fuck. Maybe we should have thought this through.
It's like a TV show. I've been watching Stranger Things. Have you seen Stranger Things? It's like
I think
about these kids, and then the kids goes into the paranormal dimension, which is called the Upside Down, with the acrobat and the flea and the acrobat. You know that saying where things can go side to side but can't go upside down?
Yeah. Kind of the way that you can go east forever, you can go west forever. You can only go north for so long, and you got to go south. You don't go south for so long, and you got to go north.
Yeah, and there was an actual TV show called Stranger Things, and it was about the Veil of Shadows, the paranormal dimension, which is the Upside Down, which we can't get to, but is always around us. And watch it if you haven't watched it. It's pretty cool. It's like Goonies, versus Silent Hill. Remember the computer game Silent Hill?
Yeah.
With the dimension with all the ash falling down the shit. Well, it was like that, but it was Goonies, so it was like kids like on a quest. Guys, watch it. It's fucking really good. It's made by Netflix if you've got Netflix in America. So I've been watching it recently. It's amazing.
If I'm not correct, the funding from CERN is founded by some of the people that you find in the Bilderberg group, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Well, I mean, those have always been, even if you look at like Tesla's projects and you know what I mean, all of these have always been funded by the people that stand to make the most money from it. You know, there's a really good Neil deGrasse Tyson gives a speech. And he gets cut off a couple of times, but pretty much what he's explaining is it's not exploration that has moved people forward, right? It's that you know, people wanted to go to the moon because they were fear of the Russians getting there first and weaponry, and that's where we made money from in the military-industrial complex, right? We were able to put huge amounts of money in there. Most of our like exploration, right? We didn't get power throughout the U.S. because people wanted free power, right? Edison expected to make shitloads of money from it. Right, he didn't dam up places and put in, electric power to give it to the people that were there. No, he stand to make huge amounts of money from it. So most of the time when we're progressed forward, it's because a small amount of people are going to make an advantage from it. Right, CERN is no different than any other giant government program in that sense. Yeah. If these people think they were going to make money out of it, you wouldn't make money out of it. That's why why it's so hard to get the electric car out of it. Well, we're going to lose money in electric cars.
They're trying to make portals, aren't they? They're trying to make gateways. That's what they're trying to do.
Well, no, that's not exactly what they were doing. They were trying to split atoms to see exactly what was created. And
beyond that, there are...
Yeah, they're trying to find antimatter, aren't they? Terrence, tell the real truth. Tell Tyler the real truth. They're looking for antimatter, what we can't see.
A lot of those things we have, dark matter, antimatter, antimatter we can make in the lab. As far as like some things work out on paper and in experiments pretty well now. We may be able to get to other parts of the universe by bending the space around us using super high powered magnets, right? That gives us just enough gravity to bend it in front and back of us, kind of like zip line it across the universe. We may be really close to finding those out. They may already be doing them and they're just using us as pawns to make the money, right, while we're here. Who knows?
So wait there. So aliens and gray men could actually be from a different dimension. They couldn't be. They might not be traveling from planets. They could be coming from their dimension into our dimension. Is that a possibility?
Sure.
Or an alternate timeline.
Yeah. I fucking just got the answer to fucking aliens, didn't I?
Or it'd be both, ETs and interdimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weird thing I heard about CERN, which came from one of their people, because I'm in one of the groups where they have people that work at CERN that are in there. What they were making was anti-atoms, which I have no clue what the fuck that even means. I was like, man, that sounds cool.
Anti-atoms.
It's antimatter.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Anti-hydrogen.
Yeah, antimatter is what's around you, but you can never see, isn't it? Huh? So like, aren't they?
Well, we don't understand we don't understand quite what it is, and we kind of live in a little bit of a bubble of matter, right? Everything around us is matter, and antimatter, although there's a whole shitload of it, it's really hard to come by at the moment.
I heard.
But you know, basically, guys, when they say that you're third eye in tune, and people say they see ghosts. That's because you're in tune to that other dimension. When I was a kid, I sensed a lot of ghosts. What autistic people do. We're really tuned in to really observant. So we like most people would just most people just go through life and they wouldn't notice things around them. But someone who's on the spectrum would really analyze certain aspects of stuff going on around them. Does that make sense?
Well, and there's all sorts of things that we're just now starting to understand. Particles that exist in more than one place at one time.
The Bose,
Things
the Bose,
that
Bose,
particles that if you change one part, no matter how far away the other one is, it instantaneously changes as well. We are just barely. The truth is, we know absolutely positively nothing about our universe. Like we can't even explain gravity, let alone. There's so much that we don't know. It's hard to argue one way or the other. Chances are, there's things that operate at certain, frequencies and vibrate at certain rates. Being more in tuned or less in tune to any of those across a myriad of spectrums could have all kinds of effects that some people would pick up and some people wouldn't. If I'm, we don't truly understand the universe to the point that you can't deny or confirm apparitions like that at all. It's just not possible in how we understand the universe right now.
Terrence, am I right to think, like the way I'm sitting in my car now, I can touch my steering wheel, yeah? But I can't touch the air. And what's in the air is that antimatter. Something could be sitting right by me now, couldn't it? But I can't see it. Does that make sense?
Well,
it can be one. You can be just one little bit off, right? If we're vibrating at a certain rate, let's say certain portions of string theory are correct, right? And the vibration of those strings creates the viewable universe that we see, right? Let's say parts of it have been taken apart, but parts of it may still ring very, very true, right? If something's vibrating at just a little bit off from what you are, and I'm talking, it's an entire other universe, right? You can't interact with that or very, very little. Right, so I mean, things like that affect us, and some of them we ignore. We're so disconnected from the world that we're actually made to be. Most of where we live is pretty unnatural. So people have really disconnected from things that they normally would have picked up on, or would have even been able to explore. There's very few.
You might think I'm mad, but I've seen ghosts. I've seen ghosts in my life. I've had videos taken of me with orbs coming around me and stuff like that when I was younger. Fucking weird shit. That's the honest truth. Like, that there is some sort of spirit life. Definitely, I definitely believe in it. I think that when we die, we have a soul, and I think that soul goes on. That's what I believe, like an energy. I don't think that we just rot on the floor. I think that's stupid.
Well, a lot of what CERN is doing is messing. No, it's messing around with the stuff that we the building blocks of the universe. So anything's possible. Who knows?
How many of us are believers of what stuff I just said? Ghosts and shit.
Well, no, I've seen things. I've seen things recently in the last, especially at Standing Rock, that I can't explain. So even a guy like me who used to be all science, and I would dispute most religions.
You get like you've got a cold feeling going through you when it's happening. When you're vibrating and something isn't of this world, you feel different, don't you? You feel weird. You feel like all like shivery.
The night that I'm thinking about,
It's fucking strange.
Well,
seriously,
there was a video out of Standing Rock that kind of stood out. I don't know if it was doctored on YouTube, but remember there was like a shadow horse, or they thought it was a spirit of an Indian.
I remember someone saying something about it.
Do you remember hearing about that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If you were at Standing Rock at a certain time, spirits ran free through the camp. I don't know how to explain that. That's why I just kind of kept my mouth shut about the whole conversation, because I don't always think that it's not that people don't have a want to believe in that or to understand what you're saying or whatever, but sometimes you have to be at that very moment, or I just keep it to myself. But I'll tell you that just from my experience, spirits ran completely free through Standing Rock. So I mean, there are times that I could explain stories to you that would seem fantastical, man, and I don't know how else to put that. I don't know if this is the place for me to make those, because I want people to find their own path. Like, I have no answers.
Well, it's just like some people are in tune and some people aren't. It's That's what seems like to me. Like, I know a lot of my friends growing up, they didn't believe in ghosts and stuff, and I was like really into like aliens, ghosts. Fucking, I was like Fox Mulder or something. But I think the more you believe, I think the more that you can they can reach out to you because they know you believe in them. Does that make sense?
Possibly. You know, I don't know.
Say if something wants to show itself, like if they think that someone believes in them, there's more chance that you're going to see some sort of like.
Well, you know, and there was something that was coming out of development. I don't really want to, mention this, but there's a group of paranormal researchers that are using experimental should I say cameras, such as low end invisible ultraviolet cameras, and they're recording things that they can't record on normal video. Now, is it paranormal? I don't know, but are they picking up things that we can't see with the natural eye? Yes. So, we'll never,
Yeah. That's pretty mad, man.
I think it's healthy to be agnostic with these things, right? I mean, so many people have these different experiences, and so it would be very stubborn to say that nothing is going on. I mean, you're discrediting all these people at once, so I think it would be healthy to at least not have any judgment about these things yet. I mean,
yeah, you're open-minded, isn't John?
My experience could be totally different from somebody that's standing right next to me, right? And that doesn't make either one of our experiences not true. And that causes all sorts of problems, like he was saying before. That he sees things or whatever. Someone right next to you might not see something at all, but that doesn't mean that either of your experiences isn't true. Why you're having that experience is a completely other avenue of exploration.
Guys, did you hear something about some sort of mind trick online as well? You know, when they turned CERN on, there was some sort of like map, and then the map changed after CERN was turned. Did you hear about that? It was like all the lines on all the the way it was aligned. Yeah, it was online. It was. So,
I'll look up what the project's called. Okay, but
you know what I'm on about, yeah.
There's these counters that are all over, a couple of major cities. So Paris, New York, right? And there's quite a bit of them. And these things somehow they're like random number generators.
Are you talking about their White Rabbit project where they wanted to have geosynchronicity between the devices that were communicating with each other because of what they were doing?
Yeah, and the deal is they're able to monitor, something big that's going on, 9/11. But then before the actual strike of 9/11, the number generators, at a rate that really shouldn't occur naturally, slowed down to close to or the same numbers. And it's a really weird group of phenomenons. You'd have to look up more about it. You probably spend your whole life trying to do it, but it works with the with random number generators and placing them throughout the planet. It's a cool project. And then they can look back and see when events happen, and you can you can't tell till after the fact, you see. With the problem, it's not like you could predict it, oh boom, right, something changed. But when they go and check, hey, on this day, what were the number generators? They come up with these weird statistical anomalies.
Yeah.
Which is everybody thinking about the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, man. Ted, have you ever been to Georgia and seen the Guidestones? Are they insane or?
No, I've never seen the Guidestones.
Have you?
It's Masonic.
Well,
yeah,
I know they're Masonic.
Yeah, there's always. I've been a lot of places, but there's heaps of places I haven't been.
There you go. You got to go there now. You got to go there and report for me, okay? Tell me where to do a documentary from there, so.
Yeah, I'll find out. I know quite a few Freemasons. They're all good guys. You know, it's one of those organizations where the people that know would never tell you, and everybody else doesn't know, so they can't tell you.
I agree with that. I mean, not every Freemason wants to take over the world, but there's like a 33 degree.
Well, for
like
a lot of Masons, are low level, and they use it for business connections. So when you talk about, when you say that every Mason is evil or connected with that, a lot of them are unaware of what goes on the higher levels. That's why each time
completely hidden. It would be completely hidden from them. And in the same, like I said, the people that know, and look, okay, I think some of it's just
33 degrees are really fucking powerful people, like pop stars, film stars, government, and fucking mafia, really powerful people that are introduced to the 33 level. You could get normal Freemasonry, but they don't know what's going on above them, and then the people above them don't know what's going on above them, and so the hierarchy goes on until you get to the top of the pyramid, where there's like 13 families, a Rothschilds, fucking Sashko.
Yeah, see, that's what's mind blowing to me, is because it's not like okay, the top 1% of the 1% douchebags, right? Yeah. They may or may not be Masons. They'd still be insanely rich douchebags trying to control the world through a pyramid scheme. So I think the important part is to kind of dismantle the pyramid and use it for I don't know, way better stuff, some government housing or something. But I think the point is to dismantle that evil system, and then the evil men can't exist anymore.
But you know what really spins me up? Is if you take $1 out of your wallet now, and you look at that dollar, what the fuck? There's a triangle with an eye in the middle of a triangle on your currency, and that's pretty fucking.
Well, it says Novus Ordorum Scholarum, which translates into the New World Order. Now, the concept...
It's a success.
The concept... Well, listen, hear me out. The concept of the New World Order is not something new. It's been around for, maybe 300 plus years. So when you hear about, the New World Order, this is something that's the concept that's been around for a while. And, even, Bush Sr., had a crazy speech, back in the early 90s, that stupid hypnotic glare in his eyes,
he was saying we could bring the New World Order, and it'd be brilliant for the world and all. I remember it. I was a kid. I remember it.
That was 9/11, 1991, 10 years before the 9/11. Shit.
Yeah, and it's one of those times. I'm always kind of bitching about it. They always steal such like good terms, and use them against us. The New World Order, like, there's so many positive things that you could build with that group of words that are taken away from us because of, people that have evil plans in place to do it. Things like the Patriot Act. Where the Patriot Act.
Do you remember when Alex Jones was a good guy? And fucking he bust open Bohemian.
I still okay, now I watch Alex Jones for fun, right?
He's a fucking idiot.
Before I thought, before I was watching him, because he does an interview with David Duke, man, that is fucking, he tears the Klan apart. It was great to see him infiltrating the
Bohemian Grove.
Oh, come on, what's the other? Bohemian Grove.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he infiltrated that.
He was on top of it. He would sneak up on these guys. I think they used the brain slugs on him. Right. And now.
Yes. Yeah. I basically think they told him he was gonna get killed, or he was gonna fucking be a pawn.
Well,
I think all the way, you could at least be a bad pawn. He was really enjoying. I hope that he's enjoying himself. I hope that he's not that. None of that is real, or he does need professional help. He's lost it.
I said for a while, and I spot onto it, being a former addict myself, in recovery, that there are telltale signs, at least to me, that are obvious that he's using stimulants.
Yeah, I reckon Russell Brand is a fucking Mason as well. If you look at when he's talking next, and you look at his arm, he's got 33
Well, no.
Tattoos on his wrist.
No. Russell Brand is I don't know if he's a Mason, but he has been showing up to the Million Mask March over in what's it called? Tiananmen. It's a big one over where you're living.
Yeah, he's a wolf in sheepskin.
Yeah,
that's what I reckon.
You think?
Well,
so?
I mean, and that's something that, because the right in America, the far right, all the way up until Trump was elected, were like really hitting down the international banks, the Rothschilds, the Bohemian Groves, blah 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 blah. They were all over it, including Alex Jones. And then the moment that he took over, I guess all of that disappeared and went away.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something that's always kind of question, is that nobody ever asks if Donald Trump is a Freemason.
I've heard rumors that he is, but
you're telling me you're the only billionaire on the fucking planet that isn't?
I knew he's a Nazi, but I just have to because of pictures.
Come on, Donnie. Come on. Put the piece of chicken down. Come on.
I was talking about this earlier. That his intelligence level isn't. It's not that
he's
high,
not intelligent.
It's not that high.
He's fucking Home Alone 2.
I know, right?
Extra.
Well, and something that always this is something I'm gonna throw this out.
No, Terrence.
Something that's really like,
he was on Home Alone 2. Watch Home Alone 2. Donald Trump is a fucking extra.
Oh yeah, I remember. He's in the hotel. He tells him to go back up to his room, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It is true.
I'm an 80s.
Check it out.
Don't tell me about Home Alone.
Yeah.
I said I'm an 80s baby. Don't go telling me about Home Alone.
Well, he thinks he's become Fox News. He's just a corporate shill now.
This is something
he's chosen the party. I mean, he's not an independent journalist anymore. You can't be a pawn of a party and then claim to be independent anymore.
I don't think you would have had, like I said, you're the only billionaire. It's mind-blowing that you would see somebody that is that absolutely rich, right, as being part of the people. And it's not like you struggled from the bottom. You started out that way. Like, the world that he lives in has nothing to do with the world that we live in.
No, he's never going to have to deal with financial troubles, stress, or anything like that. He's got the money to live a pretty he's.
Well, it's something that, like, recently, if you watch all of the news, they constantly have, like, his buddies come out, and they'll always say the same thing. Oh, well, you only get to see the Trump that's on TV. You don't get to see the guy behind closed doors. That guy's a real nice guy. You guys are only seeing one part. And that's really the problem. Is that if that's true, then you're like two-faced in front of the American people, and we're supposed to believe that the guy that's, fucking us over, defunding, our best protections for the people and taking away your health care is doing it because he's a nice guy. I just don't fucking believe it.
Of course he's not a nice guy. Of course he's not a nice guy, but he's not a dumb guy either.
Constantly.
But he's not a dumb guy.
Tell you what, he's got enough money to buy fake tan. He buys enough fake tan, doesn't he?
Right now, look, he's made more money in this little bit of the presidency that he probably was going to make in real money by the end of his life. You know what I mean? Because he was in huge amounts of debt, fucking everything. This is free fucking cash, taxpayer money. You know what I mean? And a guy that's already not paying taxes.
But he still can't get a good tan, can he? He looks fucking orange as fuck. He looks like someone poured Tango over him.
I think that's like all blood. I think like all blood sucking.
Cartoon.
That's sunblock, right? He can't go out in the real sun.
He's an albino, isn't he? He's a fucking albino.
You've seen the retirees in Florida, right? He spends 90% of his time in the hot sun playing fucking golf, and the dude has to use spray tan? Come on.
How pale is he under that fucking orange shit?
Enough.
Fucking albino.
Go golfing 24/7. Like, Tiger Woods had a constant tan, right? Like, those guys always have like the permanent, sunglasses, tan lines, except for Trump. Straight up orange.
Fucking Tango, fantasy.
And at no point, you've got all of that money and you didn't go to your guy and be like, look, can you get me like a real tan? Because this is orange. Maybe I didn't notice it before, but now the entire world has assured me that I look like a fucking orange. Can you please
And he
make
looks like he's got a slop bucket mop on his head, like someone's fucking dunked their fucking head in a load of fucking shit and fucking crap in the toilet, and then fucking slack their head back.
No, yeah, you think with $1 billion, or whatever the fuck he was worth at one point, you'd think he would invest in, hair transplant or some shit,
He looks better in my picture. He looks good with a skinhead. He should have a skinhead and a fucking swastika in his eye.
I was saying if he shaves his head, right, if he let it go all the way bald like that, he straight up looks like a supervillain.
Yeah. Well, you can see my picture. See, look at the swastika in his eye.
Do you know the guy, the head of Nestle, right, that said he wants to own all the water on the planet, right?
Yeah.
He was bald in the beginning, and I shit you not, right? He looks like a Bond villain. And then he obviously, scalped a small child or something to use their scalp. However they do it.
He looked like an evil Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
what was the other one when he was the Borg? Come on.
Yeah, Jean-Luc Picard.
No. He's got a different name when he's
Locutus the Borg.
Nah. They bring him back. He's special. He's got a name.
Locutus.
Locutus. There you fucking go. Come on. I know I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, guys. It is in the cinemas next week, isn't it? The new version of the old film. I think.
Oh yeah. Evil people.
Oh my God.
Hey, but by talking about him like this, it's exactly what the clown show's for.
Huh?
It's so we'll talk about him instead of talking about real shit that is happening.
We have to at some point. I would unfortunately, he's not Candyman. We can't just ignore him and he'll go away. He'll do something crazy like attack North Korea if we don't say something.
Yeah, no, that's happening.
So we have to mock him for how stupid that is. Oh, Kim Jong Il was mean to me, so now I want to end the world. What the fuck is that, man? Who gives a shit? Kim Jong Il talked shit yesterday.
Can I ask you something? Who fucking does these people's hairstyles? He's fucking. Have you seen Kim Jong Il? Kim Jong Il looks like he's got a fucking. I don't know what would you call it?
You got to be a fascist or a hardcore Marxist.
Speaking of which, North Korea, not a well-known fact, but I was digging on some shit on North Korea, right? So apparently, right, this is a weird fact. Apparently, their own government was producing drugs, right, like methamphetamine and fucking heroin, and keeping the people docile using drugs. And they were using the methamphetamine to deal with the famine crisis that is there. And I was hearing rumors from people in China that were trying to get these drugs, this pure form of drugs that were only coming out of North Korea.
Yeah. Fuck.
That's some weird shit, man.
I mean, is it though? Is it really that weird?
Not really.
You sit back here and chug back heaps of poisoned water. What is it? The Great Lakes now have a small amount of sedatives in them, just from the amount of sedatives that people have pissed into the water.
I mean, you don't hear like America, the producer of heroin and methamphetamine. It's like North Korea, we make heroin and meth.
Well, I mean, I think heroin, that area is pretty well known for the heroin trade in general.
Yeah.
I think they may have invented it, to be honest with you.
It's the Cocaine Importation Network, alliance.
But no, that wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. If I've said it before. If our goal was to undermine the North Korean dictatorship, we would just smuggle cell phones with with internet on them in. They'd be watching, bullshit YouTube videos in a heartbeat. That whole system will collapse. They'll become just as complacent as us. America does it. We don't want to fucking kill you. They, I'm sure, do not want to kill us. They'll get, there's a certain percentage of the U.S. that wants to go to war at any time. They want to go to war with North Korea. They want to go. Are they going to have the Civil War and the war with North Korea at the same time? Because I know we've got to schedule a race war in there somewhere, and I don't want them to overlap.
Heroin comes from poppies, doesn't it? Poppies what create heroin, didn't they?
Yeah.
Is it a
Yeah,
poppy
that was kind of one of our big pushes for Afghanistan. Was we really needed to rock down most of the poppies in the world are bought for pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah. Legit purposes too.
That is the bulk of where opiates come from. The heroin trade, like needle in your arm trade, that's really went down. The opium epidemic, it's way easier, and the pharmaceutical companies have really capitalized on it.
Yeah.
But no, we really Afghanistan. You know, there was chances with the Chinese and Russian pharmaceutical companies buying up so much, contracts with Europe, all of that. We wanted to definitely lock down the opium fields in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
so
but
that's something that grows in Afghanistan.
The opium was not the real reason, of course, to go to Afghanistan. I mean, there is $3 trillion of dollars worth in lithium in the mountains, and suddenly after Afghanistan, everyone is driving these electric cars, right? With lithium batteries.
Yeah.
Look, there are quite a few reasons why we went to war, but they all boil down to the same bullshit. Like it's not a surprise to me, and I hope it's becoming less and less of a surprise to everybody else.
Yeah, I didn't even believe it was Ebola that broke in Africa. I just believed that Africa said America couldn't have their jewels, gold and diamonds, and then
from Sudan? Yeah.
They caused a distraction.
Well,
While we were all distracted by Ebola, they took everything they want.
Well, Sudan is littered with diamonds,
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean the extraction of minerals from Africa is disturbing. If you spend any time looking at it, the horrible things that people do and have done and continue to do.
Yeah, but if it was really Ebola, the world would have been fucked. Like if it was an outbreak like that. Did you notice the way it just completely blacked out?
It's a myth that we don't have the technology to cure diseases. We haven't cured a disease in forever. We want to treat them in certain cases.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the media fucking put it out there. Was saying that the world was going to be dead by Christmas. They said it was going to spread from Africa into flights, America. They had all these hoax cases, didn't they, in the West, with what they call it, crisis actors pretending they had Ebola. But then, did you notice that when the world didn't really get scared, that it just went away, and then they were just we'll cure it all.
Was really weird.
Oh yeah, and then we got Zika. We got Zika right behind it. Well, I think we have every year to 2 years.
Yeah,
we have
full of shit. If it was Ebola, we'd be fucked. The world would have died. We would have all been. Well, if it was proper Ebola and it broke like that.
I mean, some of it has to do with just straight up racism. We've had Ebola forever. It killed Africans. They didn't give a fuck. Right? As soon as it looked like it may kill a couple of Europeans, they gave a fuck and cured it. That's it. A lot of these diseases are straight up racism, right? They don't give a fuck if you die of AIDS as long as you're gay or black. Oh shit, it's affecting white men? We need to stop this now. Right? That's exactly how it works. This isn't a hidden fact. Right?
Yeah.
So, that's like the bottom line of most of those games. As long as you're starving to death, right? Malaria, right? Malaria is 100% fucking curable as long as it's killing Africans.
That's mad. It's like a common cold as well. In winter when you get a virus, you pay $6 for medicine, but you get a cold again in a few weeks. And so what's the point? And they're taking all this money off, but they're not curing. It's almost like they create viruses and they let them out into the atmosphere. Does that make sense? So they're just making money out of it.
Just give us vitamin shots or something. You still get the money out of giving people shots, right? You don't have to infect me with shit.
Well, the weird thing about the Ebola virus, which I thought was really weird, is that there were a lot of researchers trying to develop cures, but the second it becomes an outbreak and they decide it's a pandemic, it's cured within 90 days.
Yeah,
which is which was really weird because there was a lot of people working on trying to make a vaccine for Ebola virus, and then all of a sudden
Tyler, I don't know if you can look it up for me, but there was an obscure source. There was people from I think it was the Liberian Observer, and they were saying that agents were injecting their water with fluoride, which gives you Ebola effects, and that's how they were killing. And that's how they were killing people. They said these agents were coming and injecting their water supply, and it was in the Liberia. Is it Liberia? Liberia Observer, something like that. But if you look it up, there might still be a story about it. Because when they were saying about the Ebola outbreak, it was this source that was really obscure, and it was saying about how this people had seen these agents injecting water with fluoride, which gives you the same symptoms as Ebola and kills you. So.
Well, I mean, who were they? I mean, just to say, like, who were they saying was injecting it?
Agents.
I mean, I wouldn't in any of these situations. Like
they said to the people were saying, "What are you doing? Why you putting stuff into the water to these suits?" And the people in suits said that you can't stop us. It's too late, these people went to the press in Liberia, and then the Liberian Observer wrote it up. But then it was like, I don't know, it was like a really obscure piece, and I don't know, it might have got taken down off the internet. But I remember reading it when Ebola was outbreaking. I remember reading the story, because I always look at lots of sources. I don't just look at one source. I read a lot.
Well, and I mean, with a lot of these guys will take opportunities, you know what I mean, to do harm. So I mean, when there's an outbreak, then I mean they use opportunities like that to do all sorts of nasty stuff. In fact, the more like unrest is going on in a place, the easier it is for them to move around and do those kind of clandestine operations. So that doesn't particularly surprise me. The things that they've been caught doing are so absolutely positively horrible. It's hard to deny anything, below that.
Yeah, that's true. That's really true.
We have any comments from people?
Quite a few.
Yeah, man.
Imperialism.
Well, I can't get on Facebook to check, so someone else is gonna have to have a look for me.
Looking for the NWO. Read the Torah, the Talmud. They want to end the white race. We are just goy, born slaves to serve. Destroy all nuclear weapons. We got this.
Yeah, the destroy all weapons is a good one.
Well, you know what's really weird is that like a lot of people we're talking about the reemergence of nuclear weapons, and only to find out that the U.S. hasn't upgraded the guidance systems for those things, and there's still some of them are still using old Commodore 64 with 5.5-inch floppy disks for their guidance systems. I'm like, well, we worry about that, but here's the fucking weird part is that they haven't upgraded shit. How the fuck do they even fucking work? I mean, like, you have an old fucking Commodore 64 as a guidance system for a fucking thermonuclear intercontinental, whatever the fuck it is, fly over the fucking world with a 5.5-inch floppy disk for a guidance system?
Yeah, I mean, it is such a, these are the people that came up with mutual assured destruction. So their plan is, if America ever got hit by a nuclear weapon, rather than deal with that issue, that would cause, if we lost a city, this, that, and the other, we would rather destroy the whole planet like a child having a temper tantrum. So a lot of these systems they're just lobbing them in the general direction of Europe or Russia or whatever. They don't particularly care. That doesn't surprise me. On like another level, they would like to be rich in the world that we live in, right? And destroying it kind of undoes that. Right, you can't get to drive around in jet skis and drink, champagne if everybody's dead, right? So I do think that in some cases we may never be looking at a nuclear war, because they've decided ages ago, the people in charge, that they're just going to make the money off of the posturing and never actually attack each other. We may be getting down to the last little bit of where nuclear weapons are even, an option. And they need to get all the money that they're possibly going to get before, future generations just say, no, we're just not down with the whole...
Do you think it's going to be a world war? Do you think it's going to be a third world war?
We're already in it, brother.
Yeah, I mean, the world is at war. They thought, you know, it is smarter. It is smarter rather than have these big battles where you have huge amounts of Americans or, you know, British people die. You have, you know, a car bombing here, a drone strike there, or whatever, but it costs the same, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not like saying, you know, well, we didn't have to move a whole army into Afghanistan. We just have, you know, trillions of dollars of drones running over. Well, wouldn't it have been cheaper to use the drones? We're not using any. You know what I mean? Like, it should be way cheaper, but no, it's actually more expensive. They need more money. More money.
But do you think there's going to be an actual war like the wars we've seen in the past with, you know, armies?
No, those days are over, man.
Destruction.
It's actually
for two reasons. Between the, you know, the more mechanized is, the more, if we can devastate a place, that's fine. But the more mechanized that places come, drones are slowly undoing the rational way of going to war. Right, if one guy with a computer can program 1,000 AI drones with really $300-400 in his basement, you can't fight that with boots on the ground, right? The drones are autonomous. You know what I mean? Their little AI thing is to just shoot one guy, right? So that idea of warfare is over, and we're just
so there'll be like robots versus robots, so like fucking Terminator, Skynet type shit. Yeah?
Oh yeah, I mean, we probably have a small amount of time where that, you know, where they give it a go, but people connecting and saying we don't want to murder each other anymore is going to have the biggest effect. Before, I couldn't talk to a guy in China, right? I couldn't talk to a guy in the, you know, in South Korea that's talking to people in North Korea. So you couldn't connect in a way that, look, I don't want to murder anybody. I don't give a fuck why Trump is upset. I don't care why Kim Jong-il is upset. I don't want to murder anybody, ever. I don't want you to murder anybody, right? And as soon as we all
if there was no police, I still wouldn't murder anyone. I mean, you know what's wrong and you know what's right. I mean, if there's no police and people were killing people, then the people who were killing people are just psychos, and they were just born to do that anyway. So.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have such a good word for somebody that you know, maybe a sociopath, I guess. Yeah. That, you know, you're going to go to prison for murdering somebody, right? You can become a politician and sentence thousands of people to their death, right? And that's okay, right? The President Obama, you know what I mean, as well, are allowed to have personal drone hit lists without jury, without, you know, without that's the world that we're starting to live in, and that's kind of, you know what I mean? That's wrong on a lot of levels. It's hard to comprehend sometimes. You know, what do you call a person that wakes up every morning and can drone strike people knowing that they're going to kill innocent children
and get away with it?
Was that worth it?
A psychopath?
Do you think that Trump is qualified to decide whether somebody lives or dies?
No, Obama was. Why not Trump?
Oh, I don't think he was. Obviously, he was no more because he only made the. You know what I mean? He only made that one decision.
Yeah.
You know, he proved himself. Like, if your thing is that you have to kill 10 innocent people to kill one terrorist that could possibly kill 5 people, what the fuck is that? Right? It doesn't make any sense.
It's little man children who want power so bad because they don't have their own power in their own life. So they crave this power that they've always been missing, and they use it to abuse the rest of the world.
Yeah, like we have to take, but this is the point, right? There are so many more of us than there is of them. There's 7 billion of us, right? There's only a couple thousand of them. We have to tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
Like all at once. Like the world just has to say, nah, I don't want to do that. Fuck off. Well, don't you want to go to war? No, fuck off. Right? We have to get it together.
Yeah, man. Agree.
I think if more people knew their return date after they got killed, they would say that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, okay, you want to go to war? Yeah, so let me guess. You need trillions and trillions of dollars for your friends and my son's lives, right? That's what you guys always fucking need. You know, like, they never come out and be like, look, this country has been starving under sanctions for the last 60 years. We're ordering an emergency run of food, and we are literally going to carpet bomb them with ham sandwiches until they don't want to go to fight anymore. Have anybody ever tried?
No.
3s and fucking Burger King coupons on the way over and see if it has a better effect? I'm just throwing it out there.
They don't have a Burger King though.
No.
If you had a coupon,
They've got Kim Jong Un King, right? They got a burger spot. Trust me.
Well,
they ought to roast that pig fucker.
No,
what they
They
ought to
can
do.
fry some chips on his head.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean. You can only be so mad. You can only be so bad.
didn't Kim Jong Il or Kim Jong Un, whatever the fuck his name is, didn't he murder his cousin in China with the VX nerve agent?
Yeah, he had the two female assassins. Going
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
That's some fucked up shit.
That sounds about right. Like I think the CIA or FBI or whoever, I'm sure they can, if they could get a clean shot on by any way they could on him, they would. Look at all the shit they tried to do with Fidel Castro. Like they tried every conceivable way to kill him.
Isn't murdering foreign dictators, against some treaty, that's kind of out there.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's like
Since when did that matter?
Yeah.
Guys, whatever happened to David Icke? David Icke has just disappeared, doesn't he?
Well, he's
David Icke
he disappeared on
They
flat
do
Earth.
not care at all.
He walked off the edge of the earth, man.
He's a reptilian. He shapeshifted into another reality.
He was the one that was fucking always on about reptilians. He's fucking nuts. Have you heard this stuff? Yeah.
Oh, David,
really
I used to talk about some good shit, and then he might have got like a mental disorder, like schizophrenia, somewhere later on in life, and
No, he talks really good. He talks really good stuff, and then you like listening to him, and you're thinking, yeah. And then he goes, "But they're reptilians," and you're like, "Oh right, okay." And then he just goes way off. It just goes crazy, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's from my perspective, I don't particularly care if the overlords are reptilians, if they're just assholes, if they're interdimensional lizard people from the future. I don't particularly care. I reckon their head comes off all the same. And I think we need to get to that point. And it doesn't particularly matter. There's still 7 billion of us, reptilian or not. We need to turn your AC on real. They'll fuck off. They don't like the cold. Maybe these. That's how you normally get rid of them. Just really rock the AC for a little bit. Maybe that's what they've been doing. Why he's always in Florida. Oh, he'd be like a big giant reptile, like a big frog or something. Are they all the same reptile, or is there different kinds of reptilians? I think.
I don't know. I always.
Conan the Barbarian is a bit weird, isn't it? When they turn into fucking reptiles, the cult.
Oh, the Temple of Set, or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
they
were a snake
cult,
weren't they?
Set. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And he's the guy, the king of the cult, the snake cult, was the voice of fucking, I don't know, Lion King or some shit, wasn't he? From
Darth Vader, right? James Earl
Darth
Jones.
Vader, is it?
I was gonna say, you guys mean James Earl Jones?
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, you
can
see him.
Yeah. Is he Darth Vader, was he? I thought he did the voice of Simba's dad in fucking.
I heard that's his name. What's his name is a fucking Mason. Conan. Schwarzenegger. Yeah, is a Mason. Yeah.
Well, I that's what I don't understand. Okay, most people that are in that level of power and money and all.
Hello.
Are Freemasons. Most of the people that are at that level are Freemasons, which is why it's completely shocking to me that we don't ask. Not that I don't think that it particularly matters. In some cases, to me, there is as many Freemasons that are on our side. They far outweigh the ones that aren't, and that there's. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird. I've had plenty of family members that were Freemasons, and they're all normal guys.
Do you know what I find really weird about Arnold Schwarzenegger is the fact he shoved, I don't know, loads of steroids into himself, and he's like
Well-
alive in his.
You know, if you know anything,
He's
well,
gonna-
Schwarzenegger
like
was a
steroid
poster
side.
boy. Was a poster boy for the Austrian army.
Yeah.
And
He was on
no,
steroids
and
shit,
the
wasn't he?
government was giving him money and the medications to look like that. So the fact that he got to that level wasn't even surprising, and that carried on into Mr. Universe and into
So he was like a
his early
super
acting.
soldier type thing, yeah.
No, he was
like
not
a
a
super
soldier. He
soldier.
was not. He was not. He was. I mean, he was a poster boy. He was a guy that they took the pictures of to say join the fucking army.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he was never on steroids. They gave him.
He was on
That's
steroids.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I mean,
they
I
used,
guess
to, they used to give
I mean,
him.
that's-
There was a documentary written about him that they used to give him prostitutes all the time.
Exactly. So I'm saying now, how is he so healthy and in his 60s when he was on steroids?
it's the same. It's the same
Most
with Hulk
people-
Hogan, right? Hulk Hogan, like, Jesus,
Yeah.
like everyone else is dead. But yeah, I mean, some of it's just, you'll have the thousands of people that die of lung cancer and the one guy that smoked like 60 smokes a day. That's just the way that it is. And he did have several heart surgeries and all of that. Like, it isn't like he hasn't
Yeah,
had.
he did. Yeah, he had to get an artificial valve in his heart from all the steroids
Yeah,
that
so,
he
I
used.
mean, I know it. Yeah, and I know that was, linked to
Steroid abuse.
the strains that he put on his body. So, I
Yeah.
can't say it was completely out without it, but yeah, it's just genetics. Some of it's genetics.
Arnold Schwarzenegger could have
No,
played
I
the
mean, he
Hulk,
was
couldn't
like,
he?
if you were gonna build an army of Austrian super soldiers, that's what they would look like. Yeah, that makes sense.
He could
I don't know.
have played.
I don't know how else to say that. Like you guys get Arnold and we get Terry Crews. Like, if I'm gonna build an army of super soldiers, fair enough.
I would have liked to see Arnold Schwarzenegger do a Hulk movie when I was younger. To be honest, I reckon he would have been a good Hulk. I reckon he would have done
Yeah,
that
but
well.
we already had Lou Ferrigno, right?
Yeah.
Buy American, dude. Oh no, you're English. Sorry. But the deal is, we had a Hulk, man. We had Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
He was strongest man in the world. Anyway, y'all don't. I told you, I'm an '80s baby. I don't see why y'all keep on bringing this stuff up.
David Banner, that was his name, wasn't it? The guy who
Yeah.
turns into the Hulk in the 80s, I think.
Oh,
David
yep.
Banner? David Banner?
Stephen
I don't
Bannon, yeah.
I don't know. Is his name David Banner, the character, the guy from the 80s? When he,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not,
He's
not
like, and he goes, "You don't want to make me mad." And then it goes through loads of edits of like skulls and fucking red dots going through the fucking X-ray before he changes.
He was pissed. Dude was seeing red. He's about to
Yeah.
reach out. Look, this is before CGI, right? We
Oh
just
yeah,
had,
no,
we just had
but do you love, if you look back, do you love the changing scene the way they go, "Don't make David Banner mad. His skeletal system cannot handle it." And then it's like a red like
I want to know.
in his
I want to know
fucking
the
skull.
amount of like pants, shoes, and shirts. Like, did he just have like an endless supply? Because he hulks out every movie. Like, if I ruined an outfit every single day, right? If I had to buy new shit, that would suck. Where's he
Do you
getting this
remember
money
when
from?
he's taking the taxi drive? He's in the taxi and the taxi driver pisses him off because of the
Bro!
and he changes in the back. Do you remember that one?
Change channel. Yeah, I don't know. There's holes in, or would you just get like real stretchy stuff? Like, I think I'd get some custom made shit so that like when I raged out like that, it would stretch a little bit.
Well, and, guys, so we're a little off topic. I kind of did want to bring something up that's a little non-related, but so we have
What are you trying to say?
no.
You're like,
Like,
Sure,
that is the
we have-
hardest segue of all time. Like, from anything that you want to go through like that conversation had like zero direction. Segueing to like an actual thought is gonna be rough. All right, we're ready.
All right, so we have Million Mask March popping up, and what a lot of us Anons were dealing with from January all the way up. A lot of us have been losing accounts and whatever. We do have a safe place if you guys wanna get on it. It's on our Discord channel, which is posted on our Anonymous Bites Back. So what I'm basically saying is that guys, get your plans, start going, start getting those. If you don't feel like Facebook is a safe place, start making websites, start getting everything planned. We want to make it really big this year, especially.
You're half a year old. You're half a year old, huh?
Yeah.
For 6 months.
Yeah. Chicago, I love you, but get your shit together. Come on, man. 200 people, really? Okay. So we can do better. We can do.
I feel like that was directed at me for some reason.
But no, we can do better this year. A lot of people, if you can't make it on November 5th to Washington, D.C., you guys can have your own Million Mask March in your own city. You don't have to wait for it to pop up.
In your bedroom.
Yeah, if it was just...
You don't have to go anywhere. You just have it in your bedroom.
Last year, I got this message from this dude that was in, like, nowhere, Kentucky. And he's like, oh, do you guys have anything that's near me or anybody? And I'm all like, dude, there is no one marching near you. Just go out and do it yourself. Well, then he goes out and does it. And then when he's going, he's like, he took pictures of him and his flag, his mask, just him walking down the street all by himself. And then, like, 3 or 4 other people, like, joined in. And by the time he got to the end of the street, there was, like, 20 people that had, like, a little barbecue and picnic. It was kind of cool. So if you're in a spot, yeah, like, do it. If it's just you, it's just you.
Yeah, and...
just create the event page, and we will just help with promoting it.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I don't know about you guys, but every year it has been, bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, maybe we've lost some of the, we haven't changed like the foundations of it, but it has changed a little bit because these things have been getting so big. So I mean, in the same note as like the organizing, we have to make sure to stay true to what we all started working with Anonymous for.
Guys, my phone's about to die, so I'm gonna say goodnight to you all now. Okay, it's about to fucking go red now.
I got you. Good night.
Also
for Anonymous LA.
Yeah, it's good talking to you.
Anonymous California or the LA area. This is just a suggestion because a lot of people were there were two marches, one in downtown and one in I think Redondo Beach Pier. I hate to say this, guys, but marching down at the pier, it might have been better. Just a suggestion to go down to downtown near the court or to the federal building. I think there's an FBI headquarters out there. You could, so.
Yeah, find something fun to push on.
Yes, find something fun to go around. But start getting planned now. Even if you don't know how to make an event page or make an event, if you're making an event on Facebook, keep in mind that the default setting and the default setting on Facebook events is always set to private, not public. So make sure that you send it as a public event versus private, and then start sharing it on bigger pages if you're going to go the Facebook route. But if you're not, you want to make your own web page or whatever, feel free to message the page and we can help out.
Yeah, and I just posted a Discord link in the comments, so anyone who wants to communicate can visit our Discord server.
That's cool, man. Right, guys, latest, man. I'm gonna go now. Okay.
Night, man.
Night.
Night, man.
Hey.
Night, bro.
All right.
Good night, Joe.
Yes. Good night.
Good night, Ed. Good night, Tom. Good night, everyone.
Okay. Also, last year, there was a big controversy to a lot of people who don't know what Million Mask March is about, or they were getting scared about the laws. Yes, DC does have a law as do other countries. I think Canada has the same thing, that you can't wear a mask at a protest. All I can tell you is that there were thousands of people at the at the Million Mask March in DC with masks on. So don't let laws like that be a deterrent for you to go out there November 5th and start marching with a mask on.
Yeah, I mean, there is, look, I hate to say it, but there is a safety in numbers, you know, when there's just one of us walking around, two of us walking around with a mask on, you do get a chance of getting harassed. When there's 1,000 of you with masks on, they really don't, they can't arrest us all. And that's been, over and over again, they really can't arrest us all. There are so many of us, we just have to get that through our heads, like realize it, once you realize that we outnumber them so much, the oppressors in general. Even the police forces, when they go up in riot gear, in a city like DC, they can't even, they can't stop us at all. But we have to organize to that level.
Yeah. Some Million Mask Marches even have a virtual map where they're going to go and guided ways. Some people want to go the route of registering that you're going to do a protest with the city. Personally, because of the laws that are flimsy and they're being spread around, where they might go after you because of violence that might have spread out, it might not be a good idea to register with your local government or wherever it is you do this, saying that you're going to protest. I would say just go out there and say, fuck it, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission.
True story.
Well, I mean, some of it, look, there are protests. I advise people to go to the protests and the activism that they feel best at. There are plenty of protests during the year that people go out and get all the right paperwork and whatever, but this is anonymous. We're not particularly happy with the system at all. I shouldn't have to register to go and meet with my friends. I shouldn't have to register to go and meet with other people that agree with me politically. I should be able to join up with anybody that I want to, anywhere that I want to. It's a free fucking country. But that's not the case everywhere. So, maybe that's not the mindset that everybody has, but that is maybe a little bit different about Anonymous. I thought we didn't give a fuck. Did somebody start giving a fuck? Did I miss an email?
I am done asking for the United States government's permission to protest the United States government.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. Like I said, I may have missed the email. Did we start giving a fuck at some point? I still do not give a fuck. These are mine.
Well, I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me, but earlier this year we were dealing with that Senate bill that went over to 14 states, saying that if the person, this is really weird. It didn't pass in some states, but I didn't follow along what was going with the other ones. Is that they wanted to pass a law that said that if you organized an event or you had registered to do it, if the people that were involved in the planning, if violence had broken out, the government would be able to seize your fucking property and put you into jail because of what had happened.
Yeah, it's great because you know what I mean. If only they made those laws to deal with homegrown terrorist organizations like the fucking Klan.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what you're gonna want to do with all of those rusted out pickup trucks with rebel flags on the back of them, but they make these rules for people that are protesting, you're taking their health care or, polluting the world that they live in or poisoning their water. But then if you have a real deal terrorist organization that has killed thousands of people running around, they just can't figure out what to do about them. It's been 200 years. I just can't figure out how to fucking deal with these guys. It's crazy.
Maybe outlawing wearing your blanket on your head.
Yeah, or wearing a mask. You can't wear a mask at all. You can't wear. I guess hoods are okay, but a straight up anonymous mask is scary. We need to take this back. The Black Lives Matter rallies and all the water. We should start just wearing Klan hoods.
Well,
So
you
that
know,
they don't know, like, people will start thinking that the Klan is Black Lives Matter. Like, people will come up and be like, "Oh, hey, I was there at that march." No, I'm a racist. Yeah, but weren't you with us? No, they're just stealing our hoods.
How about we wear the hoods with the masks over them?
Yeah, they're not sure who to arrest.
Well, we weren't always wearing, the Guy Fawkes mask. There's, there's also the green mask, the green man. Well, it kind of looks like a stocking that you put over your head. Or you can also, wear a Jason mask, a Freddy mask, whatever you want to wear. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Guy Fawkes mask. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think you should mask up with whatever you got. That's fine. It's such a weird world that we live in at this point, because like you would think if you're walking down an alley and there's, a bunch of cops walking down the alley, I'm running in the other direction, right? If I walk down an alley and there's a bunch of guys with ski masks and anonymous masks on, I'm like walking up being like, "Hey guys, what are we going to do?" Right? It's the exact opposite of what you would normally think. Like, no, I brought my own mask. And I got Molotovs in the truck. What are we doing?
I thanked every protest I went to last year. Anytime I've seen anybody with anonymous masks on, I thanked them for being there. I was so happy they were there. The cops, not so much.
Oh, they never are.
Shit, the internet's here. We're in trouble.
Yeah, this is gonna be live streamed. That's great.
There was an incident last year where I was at the Capitol and we were up in the galley in Arizona at the House of Representative galley, and a gentleman was there with a mask, a Guy Fawkes mask on his head. It wasn't on his face, it was on his head. And because he was in the galley, they singled him out, and he was like, the cops went up there, they put his neck against a chair. They were trying to arrest him, and he wasn't going quietly. That's kind of the mentality of our government. Is you don't have to be doing anything. They just see you with a mask on, and you're like,
oh, and I mean that mask specifically, like you there's no getting around it. Like is like why Anonymous exists to resist you. So it is your enemy showing up to your birthday party. That's fine. Like, I understand some of that.
Yeah, he got all types of media attention and stuff. It was right before the campaign started. Well, actually, it was after the Arizona primary.
Well, then it's one of those, like, anytime you see one of us, I hope everybody's doing it. We've been pushing really hard, but I mean, we've got, the person, I've got my, phone on me recording and live streaming, broadcasting, whatever. I've got 3-4 people in the crowd that, that are doing the same thing. So when anything does happen, there is no like quietly ushering us out to the back, right? You've got like 1 million people screaming and sharing and live streaming it. It's like impossible for them to get away from. I dig it. I like it.
Well, that's what we promoted all last year, especially with the advent of Facebook Live. We're like, guys, you need to be out there streaming no matter what. Always be recording. We are the media.
Yeah, and I mean everywhere. It's not just, I kind of see it that I see it. It really is like a protection thing for me. I don't know how to explain that, but when I've got my phone up, I've got it. At least a couple of people that are standing next to me that won't let whatever goes on go quietly, and that does like inspire me to keep on doing whatever I'm doing. Because I mean, you've been there, dude. We've taken like, oh my god, from tear gas to rubber bullets to, what I mean? Like we've been hit by trucks and bats and fucking tased and all of it, and it really is. It doesn't feel as bad because you feel like you've got 2-3 people with you, and honestly, you're just standing there with a fucking phone.
Right. And we've been shot at and everything, but it gives you strength to know that there's people around you that have the same guts to do what you're doing, and that if you're going to go, you're not going quietly.
Oh yeah, when we went out, when they turned on all of the water cannons on us at night, like I had my phone on, and dude, I could not see shit, right? I couldn't see anything. right? Except for this one little spot on my phone that said, "We're with you, boy," right? And all I could think was, like, whoever fucking wrote that on there, right? Like, that was all I could see when that was going on. And I really did think, like, whoever was there, like, they were all with me. And it kind of kept, because I was cold. Like, I wasn't as well prepared as some others around me. So I was cold. Like, but that was literally through the ice and the water, and that was all I could see.
Well, and I don't know if you ever remember seeing me, but I was up on the truck taking the cannon straight to the face and the chest. And, yeah, I didn't prepare at all. But when I turned
wasn't... Well, because I didn't think, like, this isn't 1960, you know what I mean? This is America. I didn't think they were going to open up, like, water cannons in the middle of fucking the winter. It just that didn't seem rational.
Right. Didn't seem like a rational thought. But when I turned around, even though I was getting hit in the back of the head and the back with the water cannon, there was 1,000 people out there looking up at us. And I felt like I could do anything at that moment.
Yeah, you did. And I mean, that's why we were talking way early in the thing about certain things that went on in Standing Rock. And there were times where, I didn't, I was fighting alongside people that I know weren't there, that weren't there in their physical form, but were definitely there behind us in spirit, that were helping you get back up and helping you keep on where you can't, like, my face is frozen shut, but I didn't feel, you didn't really feel any of that. I just couldn't see.
Yeah, you talked about that earlier about the spirits. There were definitely spirits there that night. I felt so much energy, and there's no way it was just me inside me at that point.
Yeah, I would have thought, and there couldn't have been more than, a handful of us that were there, maybe 100 people, maybe less, right? But it felt like we had an army. You know what I mean? It really did. It really did. And there wasn't that many of us there in comparison to the line of stormtroopers that they had there. Right? But it felt like we had an army with us. It felt like we had the world with us. It was, it's, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain.
Now, there was a bunch of Anons out there at Standing Rock as well, but that they weren't welcome at first. Was that correct?
Call dropped.
Oh, did?
Yeah, there was some, like I said, there was a few of us there. I can think of 4 or 5 altogether. I guess I'm not gonna drop names. You guys all know who they are.
Yeah.
So they were the first ones that were there and kind of asked, other Anons to come under very, very specific guidelines on what could and couldn't be done, being what they were trying to build there. A lot of us were all like, we get on here and burn this motherfucker down. But that wasn't the mentality that they were, that they were looking for, and they were very specific. You know what I mean? That we couldn't be active in anything that we were doing. We couldn't be aggressive in anything that we're doing. We could be active. We can resist in any way. All of that. But as far as getting onto their computers and technology or any of that, we could only defend the camp. And all of the Anons that were there to defend the camp, and not really to, the goal was to take down the, DAPL, but not necessarily attack DAPL or DAPL employees, but to defend the camp. Now, maybe some of us push that a little more. I go with the electric fence policy, right? If you didn't touch that, you wouldn't have got shocked, kind of thing. Right? So that, that was kind of how I stood on it. And I know some other people felt about the same, but our job was to keep people's phones safe, to keep, them from listening, to give, to pretty much run an electronic counter ops against a much, much better equipped, much, much better funded opponent. And we murdered them, man.
Hey, yeah, we did. Did we ever get into the Stingray that they had?
Now we have, proving that somebody has a Stingray is extremely difficult. So we have the model numbers. We have the IP numbers that or the MAC addresses that the equipment we're using. If we can ever get a subpoena to get the equipment, you know what I mean, then we're fine. But police departments across the board use these illegally. They're not going to turn them in. They are a tool that law enforcement uses.
Yeah, true.
So it's going to be really hard to get them. But what we did do is get them, to shut down, which was our goal. Was to keep, and inform people, get everybody's stuff up to par. that was kind of our goal in that, where it doesn't matter that you have a Stingray up because these are the 3 networks that are safe. Use those.
Right, and I remember somebody going to the dome and cutting the friggin' Wi-Fi cable like 3 nights in a row. I think you were saying.
What?
Oh my God, man! I was pulling
somebody cut the Wi-Fi cable. What?
Oh, there was so much. I mean, okay, I'll say between me, Alicia, there was quite a few. You know, we had a whole tech team that was there. Electronic Freedom Fund. It was a total. Everybody knows that Tiger Swan had heaps of infiltrators now. I don't think that's hidden from anybody, is it? Like, we're all like, you're all clear they were using this at this point, right? But you know, every other day they broke so much equipment. There was one time that I count as our win. I had long ago got these STR stickers made, right? And we were gonna, it was 25 cents for an STR sticker, and that was supposed to pay for sandwiches and stuff for a homeless food program for kids. It never took off, man. Nobody wanted our STR sticker. Okay, so I never found like a reason to use them, so they always just like in the back car for literally 4 or 5 years. Well, they kept on breaking our equipment, so I went to one of the boxes that's the cable box, that would have been the switch for the internet for the city that's there and Cannonball. And it looks a lot like the internet switch that we were using to set up the system into camp that they kept on smashing. So I put the STR sticker on the city one. Well, they came by at night and smashed up the city's internet cable, right? And then had to explain like that. No, they didn't admit to doing it, right? But the city came back on them. The local provider came back at them because they had to send people out there to fix it, this, that, and the other. And for a while there, they quit smashing our equipment because they couldn't tell the difference between our equipment and the city's equipment. If the dome, it was nonstop, man. And I mean, they like our boosters. The day of the raid, they wrecked one of our cell phone boosters, and we literally had to rebuild this thing with like duct tape and like soldering irons. We'll say the cell phone boosters, they smashed up maybe $50,000 worth of equipment. And got it back up and running in, I think, 45 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn.
Slowed down our communications during the raid, and we kept that from happening. Like, they couldn't keep it quiet.
I think they're trying to interrupt us now.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have our. Look, we haven't been on in a while. I haven't been on in a while, so like we've got our standard groupies that come on. Say hi to our CIA groupies and our NSA groupies.
Speaking of which, we were, our guest that we were supposed to have on, not to be weird, but the platform that we use backend, I don't know if it was a server upgrade or whatever, but the backend platform had crashed.
Yeah, we all had the same issues. We all had this issue.
Yeah.
You couldn't get on.
You couldn't get on. Nobody could get on. There were almost 2,000 reports that I was seeing that nobody could get onto this platform.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Like the control of, or the attempt to control social media and internet communication. It's a losing battle, right? They're losing horribly, but they still desperately try to play little games with it. It's going to stop the progression of technology, which, I mean, it's never worked. Why would it work now?
Well, speaking of games,
it becomes so.
Go ahead.
It becomes so visible that they're trying to control it. So, yeah, they're kind of failing at that. So.
It always makes it worse. You take like Napster, for instance, right? They could have left Napster alone. Couple of kids in their basements downloading some songs, some 14-year-olds, but your general population could have given a shit. And they turned file sharing into a complete and utter industry that's slowly but surely undermining. Right? Why would I go through Sony when I could just download the songs and pay it directly to the artist? That whole progression was from them coming down so hard on file sharing. right? And that happens every time they try to bring the hammer down on internet technologies. It makes it that much worse. You didn't want people to use, to talk to each other anonymously. So now there's like a million, you know what I mean, message, chat, live stream, back and forth, created that monster, right? They could have left us just, you know what I mean, talking back and forth on Proton Mail and not violating my civil rights.
You know, speaking of which, you know, Facebook did have the option of using Messenger to send shit anonymously using XMPP through Pigeon, but since all the censorship has gone on, they have declined to start using the XMPP through a third-party app to send messages anymore. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's slowly becoming integrated into everything that they don't want you to speak anonymously to each other.
No, they want to know what we're saying, which is something like with this whole thing, right? This is something that bothers me. Aren't we like paying trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars for the NSA to keep Russian hack and fucking? Where the fuck were they?
I didn't get any of that.
You know,
you just broke up like the whole time you said that.
Oh no, yeah, I said NSA too many times in a row. Like with the whole Russian hacking thing, right? Aren't we paying the NSA like trillions of dollars to keep shit like that from happening? But yet it's completely like not their fault. Like, what are they doing with those supercomputers if not stopping other hackers from fucking with us? Where were you? Your ass is kicked. Where were you?
Well, they have that huge data mining center over in Utah. They're just massively collecting data and using AI to pick up on certain things. You know, that's what they're doing.
They don't seem able to, like, it's obviously ineffective. There's like a leak every other weekend, right? The hell where any of that shit come from. There's like the Russian hackers, they can't seem to find out how the fuck that happened. There's like the button emails, they watch, I guess, everybody but her, right? Like there's all this shit they can't seem to figure out, but yet they've got so much money and so many tools. Like, they have to. Like, if not, what the fuck are they doing? Massive game of, like, Counter-Strike in there. That supercomputer only fucking sat Counter-Strike. That's all NSA does is sit in there. Because, like, what are they doing? What the fuck are they doing?
Well, they're just like a data collection spot now. They're not like the FBI. They don't go out and do anything. They just collect it.
But like, who collected it? You do something that, like, okay, I've listened to everybody's phone calls.
I think we lost.
Got and you didn't bust not one dude.
Terrence, I only heard like 10% of that.
Like, what about the?
There is something going on with him.
Sorry, guys.
Did you walk away too far away from your source?
Talking too much truth.
Yeah, I am literally like right next to my way. There's nobody on the internet. Got a fast internet connection at the moment. There is no reason. They just cut me off.
It's Tiger Swan.
You should see my Facebook. Right? Like, I get censored so much. It is crazy. And I never say anything that isn't completely obvious. There it goes.
Oh, speaking of the internet and censorship, so right now, if you guys aren't aware, so net neutrality fucking failed. What people are encouraging you to do right now as activists is to write to your senators and congressmen to oppose what is about to happen. Supposedly, the only people that are going to have priority access if everything goes through as planned, which would be your major internet, just businesses.
Yeah, and now I read this article that Facebook is going to give priority to faster loading sites in your timeline updates. So when you combine this with the net neutrality thing, where they're giving priority speed to certain companies, then you already know that exactly these companies or exactly these websites will show up first in your updates. So you can already see that websites like Facebook are literally playing into this thing already.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. Like 2 months, like not even like 2 weeks ago, Facebook was on board against the net neutrality shit.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
They're already adapted to it, so it's amazing.
I hate to say shit like this, but if we don't make a big stink about it now, we won't be able to make a big stink about it later, and then we have to deal with these fucking rules unless somebody pulls a rabbit out of their hat and with the FCC and decides otherwise, or Congress decides hey, this fucking sucks. But it's up to us to start making a big noise right now. I'm not sure if TrutherBot or sorry, whatever it is, I'm saying the wrong word. It has anything right now, but Demand Progress. If you go to demandprogress.org, which is Aaron Schwartz's a little project that he started, which is still around. They have outlined what you can do to try and make a big stink about it. Right now, it says if you can see, clicking on the link. They want you to you click on the link, and then it brings you to act.demandprogress.org/ I'll have to share the link later. You can't see this on a mobile device. Well, basically, go and pay your visit to your local senator or write a letter to Congress. As shit like this is only going to get worse. It's just putting hands into the man. If you like your porn, you like your internet, you like whatever you fucking see on the internet, well, guess what? The high priority data is not going to go to you. It's going to go to somebody else. And then sooner or later, go ahead.
You have to just keep on talking about it. You have to talk about all these things. You can't shut up for like one day. You have to keep bringing attention to these subjects. It's the only way people will wake up that this is actually happening. Because it's all over Twitter, for example. You can visit Twitter and you see many of these projects protesting against it, but these voices just aren't always heard, and you just have to support them. You have to talk about them. You have to retweet them. You have to post about it, and you have to make sure that everyone around you just knows that these things are happening, because these small voices are competing with these huge media companies, and they just can't compete with them, not yet. So it has to be everyone around you and yourself. You have to do it. You have to take action, like you're saying. You have to make a big stink about it now.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is that they're going to probably redefine the rules so that internet service providers are going to soon decide what you can and can't see, based on because of the reformation of this net neutrality law. But let's say that Comcast and Comcast says that, hey, we don't support WikiLeaks, so you can't fucking see it. The average Joe Schmo is not going to be able to figure out how to jimmy rig his internet so he can fucking see it anymore. And what we also might see, as because of this, which is happening in other countries, Russia is adopting this as well, is that Russia is banning VPNs, proxy, and I think Tor services. You might see that sooner or later in the U.S. So trying to make a big stink about this before something bigger happens would prevent something worse that's going to happen in the future.
Yeah. And there is a second thing to net neutrality, and that is kind of a thing that's not mentioned so much, and that is that the stopping net neutrality causes the internet service providers to be put on the seat of judge over what content is allowed and what is not. Like right now, you have companies like Google, and they just list everything. And when they get a warning of like law enforcement or whatever, they have to remove something. But what's happening now is the internet service providers will be held responsible for what they host. So they will have to judge what is allowed and what is not. Or they will no longer get a warning, they will immediately be fined. So what you're getting is you have commercial companies which are put on the seat of judge over the content on the internet. And that, I think, is also a form of censorship.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was joking, that, that alternate forms of, alternate versions of the internet or closed, smaller webs, might be where people would hop onto to get their information. But it might come to that, it might.
Yeah.
And I mean,
go ahead.
No, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well,
Derek.
in general, we know that Facebook and other services are undermining your civil rights, right, or undermining your ability to talk to people. You're not breaking any laws or any of that, selling your information. We have to actively build social media networks that don't rely on that system. That we are person to person, that we do remain our rights and our anonymity. Actively do that. The thing that replaces Facebook is not going to make itself. We have to actively do it. It's the same with these. Once the people are using internet that doesn't rely on these giant corporations like that, and we control the information that's on it.
He dropped out again. Yeah, well, he does make a valid point. That is, you have to massively switch to this new network. Like, we don't have the money to advertise to all these people, so we can't gather all these people by ourselves. So activists and other people, they have to choose to go on this actual new network. So we have to decide to collectively move to this new network. And so that's, again, we have to repeat, and every day some people will move, and eventually we will have like a critical mass.
Well, a lot of us, a lot of Anons have gone underground, and because they can't deal with the comms and the censorship. And for all you Anons who, and I found this trick kind of to be useful in case you are losing accounts on Facebook. You don't necessarily need a Facebook account to open up a Messenger app. You can open up a Messenger account without a Facebook and not lose those communications, but just use it as an ulterior motive to try and move people off of Facebook. We have the Discord server. We tried MeWe. Okay, MeWe has its bugs. It's not up to par, but hey, it's a great landing spot in case you can't stay on Facebook. But Facebook has gotten to a critical mass to the point where you're not worried about people taking down your accounts. You're worried about Facebook taking down your account. And to be honest with you, a lot of it's automated and some of it is user end. But as far as creating a network for activists or Anons, it's just not the right platform anymore.
No, like I've put the word out there, before. We're slowly getting bigger and bigger to where we've got, a bigger and bigger platform. But if anybody has contacts with MySpace, I'd love to use their, the network they already have set up in a place that people knew. We could relaunch that with a completely different shine on it, but we got to get a hold of the people that are running it. If anybody has any contacts about it, like contact, Support the Revolution, contact me, like contact STR, like anybody, work with them. But the sooner we move off of these platforms that we know are mining us for information, the better.
Yeah, of course. The fact is, the masses are still on these networks, and if you want to reach like the huge amount, you have to utilize them in some way. But it would be smart to find methods to not have to be there actually yourself, and just still use them.
Well, and I don't I don't see any more loyalty to Facebook than people had to MySpace, than people had to chat rooms.
No, that's
You
true.
know, so as soon as the next big thing comes along, right, they'll drop Facebook like in a heartbeat. Especially when we'll be able to transfer everybody's pictures and friends and all of that stuff over to the new network. If we make that as easy, as seamless as possible, get all the benefits of just getting on and being your internet identity and all of that stuff. I don't think it'll be as hard once we have a platform that's real. Like MeWe was a great start, but I think that we could do so much better if we put our minds to it. If we got the right people, and some of it's always luck, right? If we got in contact with the right people and could work with the right people, we could do something big.
Yeah, I agree. And what's also the issue on Facebook is, when people share these videos, for example, they share this from YouTube, for example. And YouTube is like the same thing as Facebook. It's also controlled by the same big corporations. And then you have Twitter, which is a little smaller, but it's also like a big company, just in the same little group of internet companies. And you're talking about, it's a limited amount of huge social networks where everyone is, and you have to collectively make the step to all get out of this entire system of controlled social media. But I think if we all work together on this, we can easily do this.
Yeah.
And Discord was a nice step. I mean, we've been doing this for about a month now on our own Discord server, and we have 500 active people. It's almost never silent. They're always talking and they're always doing things. And
well, it actually has more. To be honest with you, Discord has more capabilities than you would on any other messaging platform. Well, not any other, but a lot of other messaging platforms that are out there, including with the integration of bots, whatever. They do. There is one setback that they haven't integrated video into it, but they've been saying it for a while that's another feature that's going to be on there. But what I was surprised about Discord is how many people were actually on it. How many. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is true, and there are some servers with 10,000s of people in it. Yeah, and the video thing, they're planning to release this. I also read this. I don't know when it will happen, but it would be a nice feature to have. But for the rest, it's encrypted, and you don't need like an ID card like on Facebook.
Yeah.
You can just create like some random email address, some random username, and you can just log in using your VPN or with Tor, for example, and it all works fine. And you can create as many accounts as you want. You can join all these different servers, and well, anyone who joins on our Discord server is really loving it. So yeah.
Yeah.
For internal communication and just it's perfect. It's a lot better than Facebook.
I like Discord, but I haven't figured out how to get the notifications pop up on my phone.
What?
Yeah, that is.
I know, it's so bad.
Yeah, I have noticed. There are some issues. With Discord with the pop up notifications. I do notice that after like I think it's 10 messages, it starts catching, which I think is like something that they have programmed in. So it might be like, because some people's phones, especially when you have like 200, 300 people on a chat, it's always going off. You don't want to have that notification always going on. It gets kind of annoying. So
yeah, I did that to our chat.
Somebody in the what do you call it, in the live stream, the stream comments is talking about IRC channels Yeah, there are still a lot of IRC servers still out there. I'm not sure if is ours still even functional anymore? I don't even know. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so
I
either.
don't think anybody paid
But
for this.
no, but IRC it works great, but for many people on Facebook, the step is just too big for them to make for some reason. Like they will visit the IRC server, but the next day they're gone again. I don't know. It's not a valid alternative for them, and it has to do, I guess, with not being able to easily do the voice chats and the posting of memes and things. The things they want to do on Facebook, they can't really do on there. And like I would prefer to use IRC for operations and. But the masses, they won't go to it because they just want to do their daily stuff. They want to talk with their friends and their fellow activists.
Well, I was going to say, if you really wanted to get even more deep down, is to go to XMPP and instead of IRC, and you get that extra layer of like, where the fuck are they even communicating from? You know, like that's like the still the not as well used communication.
Well, and we have to, all of us are network professionals, internet professionals in one way or another, where we have to really design products that are designed for the masses. Like, is your average 14-year-old going to use it? Kind of, platform that we have to build, and we're not quite to that point yet. It's still too technical for your average user in a lot of cases.
Yeah, no, that is true. It has to be attractive for everyone, so they will actually switch. It's not just the network professionals, like you say. Everyone needs to switch then, of course, for us to be able to make some real change in defeating this social networking censorship. So yeah, we need another alternative, I guess, where the people can just share their memes and stuff. And yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's a whole. No, that's the deal. It's not easy. And it seems like it should be. And this is something that's frustrating in so many things. We have solution, right? It's just getting there can be such an uphill battle. It can be frustrating sometimes. If a couple hundred of us could get together, we could build a viable system. Something sexy that people want to use easily. But getting that together is such an uphill battle. With a lot of these things, with a lot of these projects. A lot of the projects that we're working on, it has the same problem. The solution is there right in front of us. It's just getting it all lined up that's so difficult.
Yeah, that is true. And the start is just difficult. You need to reach this point where you have this critical mass, and you have enough people who will invite their friends, and those friends will invite their friends, and you need some kind of basic crowd. Has to be large enough, and to reach that, you have to repeat, and you have to stay focused on it and not go back to your usual Facebook account only. And when you go back to it, then you only promote your alternative.
Yeah.
Couldn't we create a messenger that doesn't require any personal details to set up an account? Like, as soon as you go to the app, you start the app, it gives you a randomized user ID, and then that's it. And if you want to connect with other random user IDs, kind of like BlackBerry Messenger, then you could just put their user ID. It doesn't require a picture, it doesn't require a bio, profile, nothing.
Well, I mean, for some of that, but that's kind of what I was talking about, and it's what made, people want to be able. Social media is a lot about having, an internet, not personality, but your avatar that has your favorite music and your favorite bands and where you're working and an update from your status. This isn't real important stuff. You know, so, you know, for some of it, yeah, you would want to be able to talk to each other back and forth, but some people just want, you know, whatever your favorite fucking, you know, pop band is at that time. You know, songs on there, or you know, what your favorite color is, or that, you know, that meme about unicorns that was hilarious, right? There's just no, you don't want it to get too much in that you have, you know, the secrecy of it.
Stop
They just want to
kissing
message back
and
forth.
stop lying, you motherfucking idiots.
What?
Hi, Thor.
Hi, Thor.
I'm sick of listening to amateurs. I'm sick of listening to goddamn amateurs trying to guess.
Well, then get on here and tell us something professional.
Okay, you want to hear something? Okay,
Yeah.
we are developing apps for these social media apps. And you losers, you can just stop telling people to move, okay? Move
So what's the name of
yourselves.
the app?
Go to bed, you fucking loser.
What's the name of the app? Does it not have a name? And this is what makes it difficult, right? He may have the most epic app of all time, but we don't know the name.
It's under development.
I guess so.
It's anonymous, apparently.
Yeah, fuck. If you don't know about it, then it doesn't exist. But that was like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, that didn't sound as like, I'm not sure if we're building apps, you fucking losers, is what's gonna get the masses off of social media. I'd buy into it. I think it's a catchy name, but
I like it.
we're gonna need, you know what I mean? We're gonna need to focus and build something that, you know, the masses can switch over to.
Well, and I think he expresses the frustration that all of us feel. We're all fucking tired of this shit. We all don't want to have to give up our lives to fight corporate destruction and people dying every day. And every day we have to wake up thinking, is there going to be another Twitter shitstorm that will possibly end our lives? Like,
Yeah.
I get it. It's a little burning out. I've kind of like stepped back for past 2 months and just said, okay, I need to work on me. There's so many people who want to do so many different things, and yet they're all working in different directions, trying to do the same thing. If ego was taken out of the equation, we'd have a lot more people working together, but you don't. So individual formats is where it's at, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, the cult of personality, you know, cannot be underestimated. A lot of times it does take somebody stepping forward and saying, hey, you guys should use this, for people to use it. You know, it does take people wanting to follow, you know, someone that's doing good to want to do good as well. It's part of the human condition. You know, as soon as you know, even in the progressive movement, you know, as soon as we have people, you know, Young Turks, you know, groups like that start promoting alternatives, you know, the followings that those people have on social media can definitely help us, you know, move the masses over to them and make it, you know, trendy and cool and all the things that people want in a social media, you know, in a social media platform. Fuck, that's crazy. I didn't get to I haven't talked to Thor in forever. I didn't get to talk to him for very long. All of our conversations always seem to end that way.
There's a trend, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I never get a chance to be like, oh, hey, how you doing?
Interesting conversation behind the scenes. Okay.
It's everywhere. At least it's like at least it's one of those where people are like direct with you. I'd much rather have somebody come out and be like direct than like beat around the bush and play games and all of that.
Well, you know what he is talking about. You know what Jim has been working on. You know, with attention is something that's going to be ahead of its time. But they're still coding it right now.
So apparently, Terrence, you need to talk to Thor.
So is he still chucking angry at people?
He's angry at you, so yeah.
Oh no!
I think it's because you're black, man.
I think maybe. All right, hold on. Let me look in the. Is it in the chats? Is it in the?
Yeah.
Or in our chat? Is it in our chat or in the Facebook chat?
It's in our chat.
It's our chat.
Oh, okay. Here we go. There we go.
An interesting thing that I just saw, and I don't know if we want to start a new subject, but our government has given the order to any base to be able to shoot drones as they fly over the base. So the base
which I wouldn't advise. Yeah, I wouldn't advise flying your drone over military bases to begin with.
No, I would never think that would be a thing.
And look, I try to stay like focused on corporations and the military industrial complex as a whole, but individual bases, I try to stay away from that. I'm pretty sure they could shoot down any aircraft over an army base, right? So that doesn't surprise me too much. And it is an aircraft. All right, hold on. I'm trying to read what Thor said to me here. I don't get it. Okay. That's what you called me. Then you blocked me, Terry. What's available for rich fucks? I don't understand.
You blocked me on Facebook, and now you're going to die.
Now you're going to die. Yeah. Oh, I really like that song.
Yeah, I love that song.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the human equation, while I'd love to take it out of everything, definitely needs to not be ignored. And there's a lot of human in the equation.
Yeah, we're all flawed in our own ways. Like, I'm definitely as far away from perfect as possible. I'm not 100% what Thor's on about. But look, dude, if I blocked you, chances are it's because, well, you're being a dick. Like, I normally don't block people that aren't being dicks. So, and I'm normally like pretty open with it. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Can't please them all.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, man. Like, I don't know what you want from me. If I could build an app that everybody would jump onto tomorrow, homie, I'd fucking do it. I mean, there's a lot of projects. If I could give free power to Flint tomorrow, I would. I mean, there's no. Do I have the ability to do it? No, but maybe we can organize somebody to do it.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about the Progressive Coders Network doing all this great work, and they were going to build all these apps, and I don't know what's happened since.
Yeah, and like I worked with a couple other groups. Yeah. Sorry guys. I just got a message. I couldn't. Oh, kind of tickled me there for a minute. Yeah, we worked with some other coding groups, and I think a lot of people get into it and don't realize how much work goes into one of these. You know, if you go to the STR website, we've got like the 20 apps that we've built on there. And I mean, those took so long and so much money, and were, from our view, such great ideas, and most of them didn't really take off.
I can talk. I'll tell you what this is, because you people don't seem to get this.
Back.
Okay, just listen to me, Terry. This is very easy. Social media management apps all over the place. They cost a lot of money. People who have businesses use them. We can't afford to use them because they're too costly. Okay, so we're ripping them off. It's a matter of ripping code. Okay, so just get us a lot of coders. It's not difficult. Okay, but you can already use these apps. They're all over the fucking place. I don't know what you people are talking about, but people in businesses will use these apps because they give you a lot of access, a lot faster. you can schedule, you can do this and that, you can set up RSS feeds, and anybody with a brain and a computer should know this stuff. So you're talking about moving people over to Discord. That pisses me off. Then I come on and I tell you I'm pissed off. Okay, that's it.
All right, yeah, like I mean, there are a lot of options out there, but man, it's not just Anons using it, and that's kind of what I meant by it being able to move people over from the masses. I'm not particularly worried about businesses, but if we've got 1,000 different apps, we need to bring it down to one that we can move people over to.
Yeah, but this is not an app. This is something that hooks you up to every platform available and lets you add more to it. It's it's just an open access tool to platforms, and the professionals are using it and have been using it for a while, and we'll just rip it off.
No, I'm 100% behind that. If we can steal any code that we can steal from them, that's fine. I'm not arguing that with you. What I am talking about is your average Facebook user is 14 to 17 years old, right? They don't want to use professional hacking tools and messaging tools, and they want to get on.
This is not difficult to use. This is made for fucking secretaries and shit, people who don't know computers. It's just like using Facebook, sometimes even easier.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. There are a lot of platforms out there. There are a lot of things that we could use, but we're gonna have to move people from Facebook. I mean, they're using Facebook, not even realizing that their rights are being violated. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is kind of our thing. We came on to Facebook to put focus on this, and being censored by Facebook is something we counted on. So this is part of the plan. Don't you worry, we're expanding. Just get with the program.
I worry, brother. I worry.
I notice.
Look, if we could, if it's anonymous network, I don't care exactly who, who does it, but as soon as there's a viable platform out there, we got to start moving people over to it, and we have to be a united front in how we're doing it.
Okay, be patient.
Right?
We're working on this thing. If you can get us coders to help, that would be very good, because it's, big work. It's not very difficult, but it's a lot of work, Our main coder is, swamped, so we could use some more.
And I mean, that's putting the word out, across everybody. That is, and he's not playing when he's saying that the things that we need are coders, and for the people that are using the software that we have out now, they're not easy to make. They're not cheap to make, right? So there's a lot that goes into it. We do need to really get, even if you've only got a little bit of skill, like come and help us on a project and you'll get there. If you're one of those people that's like, I've done a little HTML or something like that, I'd like to help, contact us up, because we need the help, right? And you probably are not as bad of a coder as you think you are.
Amen.
So yeah, like I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna agree with Thor in this case, and that you really, we do need coders on this project, and geez, 100 more. It's a tool that we can really use to bury this system, right? We can build anything online. We just have to get the people and the minds together to do it.
Preston had brought up a good name for the app. Call it Penis.
Yeah, I saw you wanted me to call it that. We can make ad version. We could call it Penis, but we just want it functional.
It's not. It is a joke, but it's not a joke in the fact that it has to be something that's sexy, that people will go to because it's got a catchy name. Because like I said, a lot of the people, all of us on here, know that our rights are being violated, and it pisses us off. The next generation, the kids that are just now getting into teenagers, they've been brought up in a system that has been violating their rights for so long, they don't even realize that it's wrong yet. You know, when they message on Facebook, and Facebook is, you know, censoring their stuff, and that's what they've always known. Right? So, you know, we have to make something. The reason that they're moving over there is not necessarily because of the security aspect, which all of us focus on. You know, they might want to move over there because, well, I can change the colors from that fucking blue color to my favorite color, right? I can change the background to the pictures of my cats, right? Whatever they fucking want. But right now, you know what I mean? There isn't a platform that puts all of those things together in a way that a consumer that doesn't really care or know about social media will be able to use. It's a hard trick, man. We've made apps to help deliver food to the poor. We've made apps to help stop rapes on college campuses. We've made apps to help stop suicides. We've had apps to help distribute cannabis to people that need it. And fuck, man, it's like that, you know what I mean? How would you not want to buy an app that, you know, or not buy, but download an app that helps distribute food to the poor? But it's like, it's an uphill fucking battle. You know, when you're screaming at the top of your lungs and only 200,000 people hear you in a world of 7 billion.
I know, but, you know, the louder we scream, the more people will hear us.
Oh, I ain't gonna stop.
But in short, the way we intend to do this is via Facebook, because people can just use their Facebook account to log on to our app. So before we give them the app, please stop telling people to move. Okay, then after we give them the app, it doesn't matter where they stay, because they will have access to everything.
Well, I mean, I personally, for censoring my page personally, for violating my rights personally, I would like to take down Facebook altogether. I would like it to become just as useless as MySpace. So, I mean, that might not be everybody's goal, but my goal is to undo Facebook altogether. And I realize that's not everybody's path, but I don't think I've ever hidden that. In undermining that, I would love to use Facebook's own algorithm and our small bit of voice that's on that social media now to bury them. That's fine. I love to bury my enemies with their own tools. And that's kind of the plan, or our plan is to get onto your...
We steal the whole thing.
Oh, I have no issue with that. Thank you. in fact, I think that it feels a little bit better when I know it's stolen from some jackass. But there is going to be some organization that's behind it. You know, we're going to have to get guys that are good at advertising. We're going to have to get good guys that are good at making, you know what I mean, videos to get the word out, and posting to get the word out. Like, there's going to be a lot to get 7 billion people onto one network.
Yes, and we also know a lot of people are working on similar stuff, so please contact, you know, the page and, you know, the whole community and Anonymous Live. We will put you in the tech hub and let you work with our coders.
Yeah, and there's always, you know, there's you know, quite a bit of information on people that are working on these ideas and how to do it. You know, there's a little bit of luck involved as well, you know. We just have to play our cards right. Now is the right time. Like, people are sick of a lot of things. Facebook ever changes the color of their pages and allows you to start changing that kind of stuff, we'll have a lot harder problem. You know, being the first to do that will be good for us. You know, I miss being able to change my background. You know, I'm so sick of looking
like
at that
MySpace.
Yeah, I do. It was something that I did like about MySpace. I mean, it got a little bit out of control.
You mean like thousands of gifs of cats moving around on the page?
Yeah, it was. But I mean, on the same note, if that's who that person was, then who am I to tell them that they have to, like? To me, like, the Facebook page is the most, like, bland corporate look you could possibly have. You know, the blue is the most the most unoffensive blue by the people that they, you know what I mean, that they polled. Like everything about it kind of rubs me wrong.
I've been on Facebook.
You know, and I can't wait till we move, and we will move on to the next thing. Like, you know, Facebook isn't gonna last for fucking ever.
Well, it's lasted at least 10 years for me.
Well, Zuckerberg thinks it'll last forever, but
10-year anniversary this month.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a real like item, and I mean, real as it existed in our plane and not just on the internet, I'd say like maybe, you know, you're always going to use a toaster. But the internet's a completely different animal. You know, as soon as we're not satisfied with that, somebody will build something that you are, and that quick. Yeah, you'd be silly. Nothing in the internet age has to last for 10 years. You know, for 20 years, 30 years. Like, that's just not how this works.
I spent a lot of the end of last year trying to get people over to Minds and MeWe. And at about New Year's Eve, everybody just stopped talking about MeWe.
Yeah, like I haven't got onto the MeWe bandwagon. It's just not quite there yet. You know, you can tell it's not quite there yet.
Yeah,
like a lot of people, they're so close.
Somebody hauling a dead body.
Yeah, but this head keeps on getting stuck on the corners coming down the stairs.
He's going through his toy box.
Yeah. Hold on a second. A little duct tape fixes everything.
Ahmed! Does he even know that he's live? Whatever.
Hello?
You're live.
Hello.
There we go. All right, what else do we got on the list here? There's so much going on in the world. It's hard to like narrow it down to like the 10 things to talk about for a show.
I can't remember my password to Minds or MeWe.
Well, Minds went corporate, and right now they're an IPO, and they were offering 2 months ago for $100 you could own a part of the IPO, and to be honest with you, that's a great way to get your things bigger, but you've already once you started an IPO, you're already on the foundation of being a corporation. Which was kind of like against what Minds was created for, Just saying. What the fuck?
It came out of nowhere.
Damn.
I'm scared.
Look how he shapeshifts from a ball Trump to this other thing.
Yeah, and I wasn't quite sure which one to be more scared of. Like, I don't want to be like, oh my god, look out, Scream Guy, Trump's behind you.
Hey, Terrence, you know who else has that orange tan?
Healthcare, run!
You know who else had that orange tan? Was our old speaker, that's John. Remember, he used to get those real orange tans?
Yeah, I kind of, like, when you look back at something at this point now, you're all like, oh, you know what? I kind of miss Boehner. I kind of like, Spicy's been gone for almost 3 weeks now. I miss Spicy. The new lady's so angry, Sanders.
That's sexist. It's very sexist.
Uh-oh.
What did she... Oh no, I'm sure there's plenty of women that I do like. She just happens to be one of the ones that I don't.
Uh-oh.
Spicy was angry, but I liked his whole demeanor was different, you know? Like, he seemed like, when you've got a firing squad, when you're taking, like, the fall for somebody, you know, he always looked like he was like trying to stand strong looking into a firing squad. You know? And then there was times when he would be given, like, a speech, and the president would literally, like, undermine him as he was speaking. You know, he would be like, look, we have no intentions of going any farther into, you know, sending any more people to Syria. And then, like, at that moment, Trump was like, oh, fuck yeah, we're sending thousands of troops to Syria. We're going to mess them up. And the reporter would immediately, well, Trump just tweeted, and you could look in Spacey's eyes like, oh my God, this isn't real. Kill me now. Fire already.
I mean, you know, if somebody was paying me like 10 or 15 grand a month to be a fall guy, I think I could do that, at least for a little while, you know.
Well, that's what you would think, but look what the last guy. What was his name? The
wise guy from New York.
Yeah. The Mooch was his name. Like it's pretty much. Scaramucci. He was only there for what, like a week? And it's pretty much like ruined his life. His wife's divorced him. He missed his kid's birth. He lost his job. He can't, like, it's been pretty hard on him. I liked him. He was hilarious. And it wasn't like any of these guys were trained or, you know, like it's their profession, you know, in advertising or any of that. He was like just another investment banker. He figured, yeah, I can do that job.
I just gotta wonder about all these guys he has around him, man. I mean, it's just there's just a decided lack of professionalism.
It's not like
it's just like, what the hell?
The problem is they're like all the same profession. Like, you've got all of these different jobs that people are like trained for, but all they have is bankers. Like, the whole cabinet are Goldman Sachs bankers. And then people that are completely unqualified for the position that you put them in. And then he's shocked that they don't know what they're doing. Like, Scaramucci was a banker. He had never worked in the job that they put him in, right? And then they were shocked that he failed horribly at it. Like, even for the smallest thing, if I said, hey, I need the best mechanic you have. Well, I've got this banker. Can he work on cars? No. Well, then this isn't going to fucking work.
Hey, but he stayed at a Holiday Inn last night. I mean, come on, man.
I think that was like the minimum. He stayed at a Trump hotel last night, so you're. I'm sure he thought, like, how hard is it to sit up there and talk shit for 30 minutes? Like, I can come out here and say just about anything I want. I imagine it was him and fucking Bannon that probably sealed the deal, because he is not the right color of white. And it's one of those, like, everybody's real racist until they find out, no. When they were talking about it, they weren't talking about your Irish ass. Don't worry. You're Polish. Trust me, they were not talking about you. You're Italian. Trust me, Bannon was not talking about you.
Ain't that the truth?
Like, they keep on going farther and farther on the list, but yet people don't see it coming. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, we're just gonna throw out the bad Mexicans. No, we're just gonna throw out the bad Mexicans and the Mexicans that have been staying for a little bit too long, but not their kids. Okay, maybe their kids. All right, well, we're gonna just do the Mexicans, their kids, and a few Muslims. Okay, well, all the Muslims we can get. All right, well, any Muslims that haven't been here for more than 5 years, and a couple of gays. But trust me, we're not coming for you. Trust me. On that Irish guy in Boston. Like, that should have been like, you guys realize, right? The first white dude that they rounded up was an Irish dude for Boston. You guys see this coming, right? Like, don't look at me completely shocked, right? The machine is still called a paddy wagon and nobody raised an eyebrow. Trust me, they're coming for you.
All right, Cheeto Face, what's going on over there?
I don't know. Trump.
Yeah, like I think you're gonna have to change your avatar, or I'm gonna have to like darken my screen or something, because like every time I look at it, like it kind of pisses me off a bit. And I'm normally not that way. There's guys who are on here that've got like pictures of Stalin or fucking Goebbels or shit on here, and it never pisses me off the way that looking deep into Trump's eyes. Look at it, he's just got like spoiled little rich kid written all over him.
Who now, Trump?
Trump
one of those, like, honestly, you can't take. North Korea has been talking shit for like 60 years nonstop. What makes today so much different?
Well, they needed to.
How dare they?
No.
What do you mean, how dare? It's like a Chihuahua threatening a Rottweiler. Like, yeah, you can bark, I guess.
Well, they needed another diversion from all the criminality that's going on. That's the ongoing need that they have, is to cover up the criminality. I mean, come on, Jared.
And they still keep like pushing out. Look, we had nothing to do. Like, okay, maybe Trump had nothing to do with Russia. I'll give you that, maybe. But he literally is the only one in his entire cabinet that doesn't collude with Russia. I think it's too much to believe. Like, if nothing else, I think one of the guys put out that the reason that there was no way they could have colluded was because they weren't organized well enough to do so. So your reason for not being able to collude with the Russians was incompetence? Yeah, see, that's way better. Look at that, my whole demeanor changed. I don't feel like I'm being oppressed by the Cheeto in chief.
Did you see him crossing? Okay, so this guy can't even do a speech without reading something. But regardless, like, he crossed his arms today and was like in total defiance of like everybody in the room. Like, I'm the big kid and I'm going to tell you guys what's going on, what we are doing. It was sad.
Just a lot of.
And that's something like everything about him, like the way I knew kids like him in school. You know what I mean? Like, you knew that kid, that spoiled little shit, right? Like, you don't want to hit him. He's gonna cry like a little bitch. But all the way up to there, he's gonna be like the most annoying thing possible. Like, you know, he's the kind of guy that talks shit like nonstop and then cries like a little girl if you say something back.
Every spoiled kid that I know, that I went to school with, grew up with, in my family, all ended up in prison some way, somehow.
Well, he ended up about the same. He ended up in politics. Like, you have more respect for the guys that went to prison than the Cheeto in chief.
Yeah, I'll take a guy who goes to prison and a guy who goes to politics any day.
That's why we're always getting the you should run for office. Look, man, I'm just a normal, all right dude. There's no way I could run for office. They'd be fucking live.
That happened to me yesterday. I was in an interview with Insight Network, and they said, "Okay, here's the big question." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, they're going to talk about something that happened in my past." They're like, "Are you going to run for office?" I looked at him. I said, "You fucking nuts? Like,
are you kidding me? Have you not been listening to anything that I've been saying?" And I mean, second of all, look, I can't run for office. Hillary Clinton will fucking kill me.
Yeah. Right before that, he asked me, "So what is the solution to the Republicans versus Democrats?" I said, "The destruction of the United States government."
Yeah, we're just gonna.
He froze.
Like, we still need the department, you know, like the building. I just think
the building is fine. The corruption is the bad part.
Yeah, the corruption's got to go. I think there's going to be. I think the Rock is running for president 2020. This is my plan, man. Right? I figure your average, you know, senator, congressman, 70-something years old, right? These kind of like rich golf players. Me, The Rock, Jesse Ventura go in and just clean the place out. You know what I mean? Just go room to room, fuck them up and throw them out, like one after another until we've just started anew.
I agree. You're elected. You are running president.
It'd be kind of weird having Jesse Ventura as president. I mean, like,
the world wasn't ready for Jesse. The world wasn't ready for Jesse.
I hate to say it, but there's like a few people in this world that I think might actually do something that might change the way things are. You know, it'd be like, I just imagine just be up there like, fuck Congress. I'm just gonna fucking override all this shit. I'm fucking president.
Yeah. You guys are out of your goddamn minds. What do you mean the Fed? I'm not paying for that. Get out of here.
We need President Camacho.
Oh yeah, that's what I was hoping. That's what we're hoping we're going to get a boiled down version of that with The Rock. Can we just have...
He investigated the Bilderberg group, I think in Italy, and they were chasing him down with like SUVs and like machine guns and shit.
Oh, I saw him try to run up on one of those underground bases, and he had like, you know what I mean? He's like, I'm a former senator. You can't keep me out of here. Like, he gave it to him. That's why I put Jesse on the list, because he's also like an ex SEAL. Like, I don't want to get my ass kicked. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was also.
No, there was a couple of people that I made sure to get on that list, and he's definitely one of them.
He was also investigating the FEMA camps that everybody. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Hello, Clarice. No, hey, wait, what was the girl's name on Scream? It wasn't Clarice. That was Sydney. Hey, Sydney.
But yeah, no, he was investigating the FEMA camps when people thought that those were just like jokes and shit. And I think he had a show on God, what network was carrying his show?
He had him and that director's son. I mean, I know the guy's his own man. I don't want to say like he's leaving it, but I can't remember his name right off. He had the show with another. It's a famous director that's into that gets into conspiracies and like trying to hunt them out too. What is the guy's name?
Larry King?
No.
It was that network that Larry King started.
No, this was I think it was just called Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura, but then the other guy in it was real. Like when as soon as I'm looking it up, as soon as I say it, you'll be like, oh yeah, because both the director and his son are big into like uncovering those kind of stories.
Sean Stone.
Yeah, Sean Stone. But they like, if you guys get a chance to watch that show, he doesn't hold anything back. And I mean, you see, like it is a show, but there's a couple of times where he pushes the limit as far as I think you can push it. You know what I mean? Without ending up with a bullet through you. And I reckon he's a little bit harder guy to kill than your average Joe. But no, I like that was him and Alex Jones like worked together on a couple of those projects. I saw some interviews together before Alex lost it. Ugh, I keep on changing my.
There's just a lot of heavy breathing over there.
Sexy time.
I mean, you have
having
some
an
explaining to
bastard.
do.
All right, I'm in my Minds account, and I shared it out. Everybody should go to Minds. Yes.
But Minds is host. What the fuck? Minds is hosted on the Amazon server. which I'm not.
Oh, CIA.
Yeah, which I'm not particularly keen on to. And they have a government. We were talking about that on another show. Is that Amazon is in bed with the government? Well, as far as as far as they have a government store.
Well, it's like the in that like underground base for government continuity, right? They've got a they put all of the the senators and whatever down there in case of a nuclear war. They've got a subway that's stocked for 100 years down there. A subway. Like just in case you need an apocalyptic sandwich. Where are you getting all these masks from? I think that it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious that a bunch of child molesters picked Subway to be their food of choice for after the apocalypse.
What? Yeah. What? Oh no, I thought you were talking about that dude.
Jared.
Jared.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like, everybody was so proud of Jared for losing all that weight, but you would honestly think that when he was a little bit heavier, the kids could have outran him. Like, I feel like I had a part to play in that, where I don't think he could run as fast.
I don't. Did he get caught with like
heaps of child porn?
Yeah,
heaps of fucking child porn, and it's the second time they let his rich ass get away with it the first time. He used the excuse of like your mom finding a porno under your bed. I guess people don't really buy pornos anymore, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah, it's
right, like, oh, that wasn't my child porn. That must have been somebody else's. And then, yeah, a couple
Jared, Jared, that's a fucking felony. It's a fucking felony. Just saying.
Like, go eat a sandwich. What's the matter with you? Where did this like? It was just one of those. Where the fuck did this come from? I wasn't in the States when he got busted for child porn. It wasn't a big deal in the rest of the world. But then when I came here and found out about it, man, that was the last time I ate at Subway.
Could the shape of the Subway sandwich have anything to do with it subliminally that triggered him to do that?
Did the shape of the sandwich make you think of little boys?
The shape of the Subway sandwich.
Something to that, right? Because I had a ham sandwich the other day, and after I finished it, I was horny. Not for little boys, but that does explain quite a lot.
Why is it always the fucking guys who you don't think is like really fucking creepy, but then you find out that Bill Cosby's been date raping people for 20 years, and then
yeah.
I mean.
Because it's the people that you don't expect, like everybody, and that's the deal. Like the guy that like really does like look like what your mind wants a child molester to look like. That guy, he probably has a hard run. He doesn't have any friends. He's like, I'm not a child molester. I just like trench coats. You know what I mean? Like there's that guy everybody knows to stay away from. But people like Jared, you know what I mean? People that seem like good people, they can get away with it. Your guard's down.
Well, BTK, the BTK killer, he wasn't like the guy that you thought that was, killing people in hidden basements, and wasn't he a fucking cop?
Oh yeah, and what was old boy in what was it, Texas? Come on, what was his name? He was the other he was a dude he was another famous cannibal serial killer. But a lot of them were like average looking guys.
Yeah.
Bundy, right?
Yeah, Ted Bundy, and then there was